Alright guys, we are live with the first episode of the Philpsey Force broadcast and podcast. Let's get in here and talk to these Brits.
Let's do it. He's live.
Here we go.
Hello.
So here we are. So what time is it over there for you guys?
Oh, we're live. This is amazing.
You
I can't
are
hear
live.
anything.
12:01.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I have push to talk on. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I have push to talk on.
If I turn up the stream and then I play it through my mic.
No, don't be a cunt.
Don't! You'll ruin everything.
Shut up, Adam.
You're ruining the interview. Do you mind?
Alright, so the YouTube channel that I have posted on here is Mute TV. Who's YouTube channel?
So that would be me. I would be the representative for that as Matt.
You only have one video on there, right?
Yeah.
It's getting
Yeah,
a
It's a
bit
pretty
better.
good video, though.
Yeah.
It is. It's kind of like watching the movie Napoleon Dynamite, I would have to say.
I bet Aaron's
I
like,
would say it's like watching
Singing
torture
that.
porn, but
Oh
There's
my
no
God.
porn.
we were planning on making another one.
We filmed a second one.
We filmed the second one
Yeah.
in its entirety, but then we deleted it. We decided not to edit it because it just wasn't up to scratch. There was a silly cunt on it.
We had beef with one of the people in it. So,
Yeah, we've kind of fallen
Oh.
out with one of them, so
Yeah.
we decided not to edit it and just create a better one when it gets sunny again.
there was more of us. There was more of us in the second one.
That makes sense. Like, they don't even deserve to be in your beautiful
Yeah.
Shitty
videos.
video. Oh,
To be fair, it'd be more of an insult if they were in it.
It was a shit video.
Yeah, but we only made it in one day. I literally messaged Matthew. I was
Nah.
like, "Do you want to go film a video?" And
I
he
was,
"Let's go."
I swear I was like out for like the morning and I had to like run and catch up with you guys. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
the thing is, Adam, you weren't actually invited.
No, I wasn't. I
Shut up.
just turned up. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have 2 extra guests, so that is unplanned, but it's okay.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
Dan, why are you here?
I was told that you guys are a complete package, so you come
Yeah.
together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys, those two can't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have to
Yeah,
kind of
they-
babysit them because they
we all-
can't
we all-
get along in a call together.
We all come together.
We can.
You know.
Adam.
It gets messy when you guys show up.
Yeah, we need some tissue.
Oh,
Paper towels.
gosh.
Well done, Louise.
Alright, I'm sure everyone is dying. How did you, or at least I'm dying to know this, how did you guys find my stream? I know it was
Our
a shit
friend, she's
show
not
that night.
here. She's
Lara.
stupid.
She's not here.
So, Lars, you know the one that joined your stream?
Yeah.
We were actually browsing Twitch just to watch some like small streamers, and then we came across your Twitch channel, and we found out it had text to speech on it.
Oh, I know.
was,
You put it to the test.
The main kind of selling point for us.
And then we realised we could bully Maisie, but in robot voices, and that made it so much more entertaining.
Yeah, and then we kind of realised that there was a lot of interaction with the Twitch chat, which a lot of other streamers don't do,
Big streamers
which
don't
kind
do
of
it.
appealed us. Yeah, which appealed us to watch your stream a lot because I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like
Someone
the
just
audience
breaking into
interaction
my
is
house.
very good.
Hold
Hey,
on.
really?
It was me.
I've gone
No,
to
they
a couple of the
didn't.
smaller streamers who have the, I guess, the chat on their screen, but yeah, when they don't respond, I'm like, this is boring. What are you guys doing?
Yeah,
Your interaction works really
If we're
well.
being completely honest, right, Lara was going around trying to find gullible streamers that would say like rude words if we
Oh, I
tricked them
know.
into doing it.
I mean, I got the gist of what was
Tricked anyone into
happening.
doing it.
good old Nick.
Where
Good old
is
Nick.
Lars?
She's
He's
asleep.
asleep.
Yeah, she had a
Ah.
really big wank and just ended up
Oh, God.
Well, no, George, that's not quite accurate. She's in a police investigation right now. Something happened, but we.
No, but
we
yeah,
won't
she
get into it.
rubbed one out.
It's a bit personal.
Why?
Yeah,
it's a bit
she
personal.
rubbed one out too hard. That's the one we're gonna stick with. She just
Well,
rubbed
no,
one out.
she didn't rub one out. I think. But we'll leave it. We'll leave it. We'll leave it there.
Oh,
Thanks,
stop
Louise.
talking.
Not true.
I feel like most of these
Well,
conversations that you guys have, it's just like
People now the whole
Maisie
stream.
getting embarrassed.
For legal
Most of
reasons,
the
it's all a
stories
joke.
about.
For legal reasons as well, that was purely satirical. And
For legal reasons,
There's a
everything we
comedic
say is
joke.
probably a joke.
We have a ringtone
Yeah,
now.
because
so that's not-
our government's probably listening.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yours is probably.
Big man like Bojo.
Literally, all we have to say is bomb Houses of Parliament.
That's not full hope.
Now you can now talk to GCHQ live. Hello guys.
What's up, guys?
Notice how unfunny that was, Aaron.
Oh, shut up, mate. You're a woman. You can't make jokes.
At least there's someone listening to this. It's not us now.
Based on that insult, what's your opinion on sexism and
Oh,
feminism?
just
Third
women
wave
in general.
feminism. Yeah,
Just
third wave
femi-
feminism.
The third wave feminism, I don't think I'm a fan of. As an American, I feel like you have all the rights over here as a woman that any guy does. Like, I don't.
In England, you don't.
Yeah.
Yes, what's your opinion on
Do
this?
it.
Like,
Yeah.
we have laws
I mean, for a
against.
fact, I am locked up in a basement for 20 hours of the day, so
Yeah, but
I mean, I have to put up with all of these people.
I don't know.
there's-
Like, I
You
feel.
can leave
I'm
anytime
sure you
want,
guys.
no one will
Yeah,
mind.
I'm sure you guys have legal rights, though.
If
Yeah,
anything,
there's loads of
if
legal
anything-
rights, but
no,
there's still a lot
my
of like
rights at the age of 12.
there's quite a bit of controversy here on like pay gaps and things like that.
Yeah,
Like
it's,
seats
in
on
a,
the bus, seats on the buses, people.
That's not true.
it's feminist
If you
propaganda.
look at it actually, there's actually like one more right that women have that men don't. So if anything, women have more rights.
911
Yeah.
was an
Shut up,
inside
Adam.
And then
job.
what's that? The fact they can get an
Shut up,
abortion.
Jess. You don't have rights. Yeah.
all right, guys. I got a statement from my chat.
Stripped of your privileges and your clothes when you were 12, and then you were locked up.
Yes! Oh my god.
For legal reasons, that was also a comedic joke.
For legal reasons.
But I mean, like,
Then-
so I mean, on
Let it
the subject, like, we have laws against like the pay gap and all that stuff. So I don't. If women or if men have proof that they're getting paid less and it's because of their sex, you can sue the company. Like,
Well, I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
down to
think
the
we have
company,
that.
not the government. For
It's not.
have
It's
to
also not
Yeah,
down to the
I
other
mean-
sex either. Like
Yeah,
it's not.
well,
It's
the
not
thing-
purely men's fault.
the government made the laws. I mean, it's up to you. They're
Well,
not
I
going
mean,
to go to
in the
these
UK
companies and like audit them. Hey, are you paying everyone the same? Like, it's up to the employees to.
Fully.
Well,
Yeah.
in the UK laws are weird where we've got background of he's got the constitution. We've got this kind of like old
What is the gender death
unionised,
gap?
like work system where they've campaigned for workers' rights. So we've got that in the background.
Is that like
Stupid.
men die more? and-
Like we have a
men
we have a
more
law
dangerous
in the
jobs?
UK which is you can't wear a suit of armor into Parliament. That's still
Yeah,
a law.
so-
Get your head
That's
chopped.
still a
I'm
law.
Yeah.
ignorant
you get
of the armor
Yeah, after
laws,
12.
but that seems odd. Like, why can't you
Yeah.
wear armor?
Yeah,
You-
you
you
also
just-
can't handle a
you-
salmon in suspicious circumstances either.
Yeah.
Like the fish.
No, dead ass.
That's
That is a law.
actually
That is
true,
a
that's
law.
actually true.
That's actually a law.
Well,
Okay.
that's some broad terms. Like, what's a suspicious circumstance?
Suspicious.
Like,
That's
if
what-
it's got-
If it's got
Men are
cum dripping out of
90%
its
more
mouth.
likely to die.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Isn't there a law where, like, after you get knighted by the queen, you can legally walk around with the sword?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, you can.
that is a law.
You can.
And that's why I would be knighted, because I'll walk around a massive fucking
Aaron, I
sword.
don't think you're gonna get.
How do
knighted.
you get knighted?
I've already got
You
a
watch
massive
this,
sword.
you wait and see.
Because I think I can.
Is it like getting the Medal of Honor? Like, what does it take to become?
No, no.
Like,
the Medal of
um,
Honor in England would be the Victoria Cross, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
just really hard.
Being
I
knighted
don't know
is
what that
like
means.
It's
a personal kind of thing with the queen, where she
Yeah,
does the sword on your shoulders.
It's when you are like the leading figure of your field, so like Sir Paul McCartney, music, Sir Patrick Stewart, acting, stuff like that.
Bro,
So
can
it's
you
like you
imagine
just
if the
put out
queen
But you can have
tried
multiple
to knight
people
you, but she had
Knighted in the same category?
Yeah.
Isn't Elton John knighted as well?
Yeah, it's like he's a knight. He's
Who?
been,
Lord.
it's just Elton
Like,
John.
you said Paul McCartney
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Elton
he's,
John.
It's like
Well,
it's like the leading figures of like their field.
The gay.
the knighted.
Oh,
Can
The thing
can
is,
she
guys,
knight
there are-
non UK citizens?
I'm sure she could.
She could, yeah, she can.
I
She
think
has the
she
power
can
to.
like Commonwealth people.
It's like
Has it happened?
Australians.
Where the
The,
There's a
the,
weird
the
thing
queen,
where-
the queen in England's weird because she basically holds like no power at all.
Well, no,
She also
she's in control of the army.
You can get away with it.
Yeah, well, she
But
does
she
nothing.
has no power over
You can
Parliament.
get away with it.
So she can't do like what our
Just
president
don't know
does.
yet.
Like she
She
can't
doesn't
do
know
like
yet.
an
But
executive
Lewis,
order.
technically the Queen owns everything in England. Like she owns the entire country.
She owns
She
all
was
of the
on the armed
swans.
forces.
But she
The Queen's
doesn't.
my
She
mum.
doesn't really.
Forces
She doesn't
as well.
really have a say on how the country runs.
She just
No,
has to
she
say
still owns her
if government pass a new law, the Queen has to go yes, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she
But-
has the power of
No,
veto.
She
you
says
silly
no.
little bitch.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if she says no, the royal prerogative can be taken away by a prime minister.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, put in the perspective, the Queen does fuck all really. She
Yeah,
only
she just
exists
sits
as
there.
a-
She mostly just goes to like meetings for like peace and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
peace is boring. So.
She's more of like a figure, but she doesn't do anything.
She's for uniting.
Piss baby.
She's
Shut
for
up.
uniting the country. That's the point of her. The idea is that if, like, for instance, currently in America, you got Trump and Hillary, or not Trump and Hillary, you got whatever the hell the Democrats have. Your country's kind of split. The idea
Oh,
is
yeah.
that in the UK, we've got the Queen, and the Queen is the person we unite behind, and that's the idea behind it.
I think it
It
normally
doesn't really work
works.
though because we hate each other.
Yeah, we all hate each
Yeah,
other.
there's
That's
not a
every
very good
country.
relationship between the public and the Queen. More for the fact that people don't understand why, like the inequality that the royal family has over the public. It's like why was she
That's weird.
chosen?
Americans love the royal family.
Yeah, I
I
think,
don't
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
that.
I think a lot of English
Yeah,
people
good.
forget that just having a royal family brings in millions in tourism.
It
Yeah,
does.
so-
It brings so much money.
Just
I-
them being there is worth more than what we give them.
Oh,
Well,
totally.
Yeah.
the thing is, I don't understand, but like people from other countries liking the Queen and such, like these really weird, like proper fanatics of the Queen. And I
Yeah.
personally support the Queen,
Nice.
but I don't care about her. I'm like, oh, the Queen's-
I feel like if someone
Can't trust this hoe.
I feel like if they got rid
I
of the
hate the
royal
Queen.
family,
All my
that might
homies
lead
hate
to
the
like
Queen.
a civil war between
Oh.
the very, very royalists.
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird like that because I mean, we had the Civil War like 1600s, and that was parliamentarian versus royalists, and that was more that was mainly based on laws and power.
Yeah,
There's,
but
there was
like
some
if they
amazing
just got
stuff.
rid of the monarchy, I feel like that would cause a lot of
Oh yeah.
Civil
Oh, that was
War,
like an
Civil
argument.
War.
Well, how do you guys feel about Sorry, I'm gonna do their names wrong. The dude who married the American, they're like he.
Oh,
they're talking
Harry
about-
and
I don't
Meghan.
care.
Harry.
I don't care.
Yeah,
Doesn't
they're,
bother
I don't
me.
they
care.
want to give up their
Yeah,
titles or
obviously.
whatever.
We
I don't
shouldn't
care.
mix our blood with your inferior blood.
Shut up, George.
Honestly, I couldn't really care less.
Meghan
As long as they're
ruined
happy, I don't care.
As, yeah,
nah,
Or Harry.
I think it.
Well, I mean, there's a kind of well, you continue.
Oh, Jess.
Because I mean, all throughout the entirety of any royal family, they just marry off to people in different countries anyway.
well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and at the same time, he's like a duke. Like a lot of people got to die for him to become the king.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
100%. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, I find them getting married is their own problem, not my thing to deal with. But there's a kind of problem with her being American, because that can do some weird shit with bloodlines and whatnot, like how inheritance works.
I don't think it's
So-
such
that's
an
why
issue
they're
with
black.
Bloodlines are really
I don't
important.
think it's such an issue with like bloodlines, but I think it was controversial because people expect the royal family to be purely British. Like
Yeah.
I think that's what the whole stereotype about
Even though
the
the
royal
queen
family.
is married,
even though-
the queen
even
is
though-
married to a
Even though the
German.
queen is married,
Yeah,
even though the queen's
that's
married to
great.
the German, they kind
Yeah,
of
they
forgot
had a-
about
great.
that. but,
They
like,
they changed their last name,
Bit
didn't
of
they?
Greek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was
Oh.
Gotha.
It's around like World War II
something.
or World War One.
Our current royal
I
family,
think it was
they're,
one.
they're descended from
Yeah, it's World War
Germans,
One.
not British.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's 50-50, I think.
Well, I mean, the thing is that we've never had a fully English monarch. It's always been French English or
Ugh.
French English Dutch or German English. We've never had a fully English monarch.
It's just like a
Think
European.
no chance. They call me their first English.
Shut up,
king,
Adam.
though I
It
can't
is
be fast.
literally just the only reason it's controversial here is because it's like people kind of forgot that the Queen married for a different country, but it's like the whole principle that the royal family should just be straight. Yeah, it should be straight British. That's the whole issue about it. That's
why they married their cousins.
In there.
I think a lot of the fuss comes from the fact that it's not European.
Shut up, George.
Okay.
And also,
They're
there's the
just
element of like there's such traditionalism that the royal family in like England follow, and much like Diana, Meghan doesn't stick to that at all. Like she's criticised because she wears designer clothes. She's criticised because she wants to close a car door.
She's the hoe.
That's very American. It's not
it's-
the UK, and obviously she's always compared to Kate Middleton, which also isn't necessarily fair. They've had very different upbringings and very different lives.
And also, you've got probably the Daily Mail and other newspapers kicking up shit that really doesn't need to be kicked up.
I fucking hate the
Oh,
Daily
yeah,
Mail.
that's their job.
We all hate. Everyone in the UK hates the Daily Mail. They're conservative, and I'm conservative, but I hate the fucking bastards.
They literally go around calling people Nazis, but just before the Second World War, they supported them.
They were literal fascists.
I genuinely think that the contrast between American and British news coverage, like the BBC versus like, I don't know, what American...
Fox News.
What's a good American?
Oh yeah,
CNN,
we got MSNBC,
Yeah.
Fox News, like it's all.
If you look at the difference
it's all
between how
biased.
things are covered there, it is really interesting. Like over here, they'll read it with like a monotone voice, like trying to calm you. Whereas if you watch the American one, they're like,
yeah,
we're
it's
all
all.
gonna die."
Yes, it's fear mongering. I tell my mom constantly to quit watching the news because it's all fear mongering.
Yeah, but I mean,
look
they
at
do that
the
here in
BBC
England as
World
well.
News.
Like,
They do
everywhere
it
does
less
that.
so.
We fucking invented it. We invented the bad stuff.
Well, I mean, you guys had to keep calm and carry on. You always tried to calm down your people.
We can't calm down the soldiers.
I've lived in England my entire life and never once
Have
lived
you?
in a house that actually. Thank you, Maisie. Actually, no, I haven't.
Oh.
And
Oh,
not
God.
once have I seen anyone with a live laugh. No, not laugh. Keep coughing, carry on.
I'm just gonna be
BBC
quiet.
is so great.
I think my nana's
I
one.
saw it once in
Of
a.
course your nan has one, Adam. You're like the brightest family ever.
Yeah, we are.
Are any of you or
Constant.
do any of
Really?
your parents or yourselves do you have lordships? Don't you?
No.
I do.
Yeah.
My dad
Wait, can someone remind me what a lordship is? I've forgotten.
Your parents would be lord and lady.
Of
I've been
what?
told all you need to do is own
I have a
land.
ladyship. I can send you a photo of it.
Oh, I don't care.
Wait, is your dad a
about
lord?
My family kind of does. Like a dad's uncle was like made an honorary baron because of a religious role he held. But it was like 30 years ago.
A lordship.
So technically, I should inherit
That was
it,
a
but I
stinky
don't
one.
inherit it.
I
Because
have
it's
a
an honorary one.
ladyship. And
My dad is the equivalent of an MBE, but for ambulances.
Wow.
Okay.
Is that a title?
MBE is like, I don't know. I can't remember what it is. I just know he has no equivalent of one.
It's a bit like a. I can't explain it, but the MBE is a bit like a civilian medal of honor.
I think we were talking about basically.
Yeah,
It's a civilian medal of honor.
yeah.
And then for
My great grandma grew up in Nazi Germany.
Yeah, there's this thing online where
I'm of Nazi descent.
people talk about you can
grandparents
buy
were
like a square foot of land in England and you get like your lordship.
Oh,
I don't know.
Never heard that.
Yeah, no, I don't think just because you own property means you're a lord.
Oh yeah,
think
there's like websites that sell it and they'll send you like this official looking certificate thing. So you're saying that's like BS?
It's probably fake.
Yeah, I've
I
never
don't
heard
think
that.
you can just like buy something and get a certificate for being a lord.
Well, I mean,
No.
there's a way you get it is either a heritage, so you've got it from like some
Yeah.
1,000-year-old guy who was like made a thing by a Norman king or something, or you own land. So like I could go out 410 miles east of me and go and buy a house. That house has a baronet attached to it.
I think the
Oh,
queen
so
can
the-
still give them out.
The
but it's
land
more
has
like,
to have the lordship tied to it?
yeah,
Okay, so it's just not
the
like
land would have to have the title.
if like some gas station was selling a square foot in their parking lot and I bought it, I wouldn't become a lord.
No,
No.
it'd be like
No.
there's this house, and like the owner of that house would be a lord, and then the person that owns that house is the lord of the house.
And there's
Or the
also
castle.
old inheritance laws. So like the inheritance can only go down the eldest male relative.
Like it
That
should.
still exists.
So it's not necessarily the land, it's like the building?
The bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah, heritage.
Why is Jess in the general channel? We'll have
No.
Steve Shep's in.
Oh,
So-
She's in baggage
so-
area.
so
if she added
if-
back, she's
If
gonna
I,
finish.
what would be the easiest way for me to get my lordship?
Inherit it, probably.
Join,
Be
inherit
English,
it
yeah.
or go through the military and earn a lordship via getting a really high rank.
Philpsey,
Yeah, become
one
an
of our
American
friends in the
general in
general
the
chat
British
needs to be
Army.
dragged back in.
Oh, okay.
She's trying to escape. She's
Jess
trying
is,
to
Jess is,
escape.
yeah, there we go.
Stick her back in
She's
the
back.
chamber.
Jessica!
Okay, no, I was getting proof that I'm a lady. Hang on.
Oh,
Oh, are you gonna
shut
turn
up.
video on and show us all?
There you
Yes,
go.
and-
There's-
I
I've censored
think
it for
that-
legal reasons, but that's my lady.
What, you're a lady?
Yeah.
I hate
Oh,
you.
alright.
Cool story, bro.
No,
You know
you're
that I'm posh.
not, Jess. You're a man.
Yeah, you are.
Chat, we have a
Thank
lady
What?
in the group.
I'm technically part of a clan.
Is that a thing or
Charlie.
We
like?
have the
God,
two
no,
extremes here. We
Scottish.
have the really posh like lady, and we have George, who is like country boy.
It's Scottish McNaughton.
Oh shit!
Oh god.
My great granddad used to
They
run a
all
gang
say
in
that.
London.
A gang. We went from ladies to
Gang.
clans to
Southeast
gang.
London.
My
Well,
family
well,
is
Does
in,
the
like,
does the clanship mean anything?
I'm around the Peaky
Well,
Blinders,
my
Daniel
great
Bacon.
grandparents did grow up in Nazi Germany, so.
you said.
Clan
Oh,
just
no,
kind of
what have
used
I
to be like a big family sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's not
My
like
family
they
is
own a castle and have a
My
clan.
family's just
You
London,
wish, Josh.
and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
everyone
an
knows.
English white basic boy.
So are you, Maisie.
I'm Scottish and German.
Good for you.
Oh,
We
sure.
got all English and white.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
my
Jewish and Irish.
my family has
There's a Jew.
Nordic
Dan's Jewish.
heritage.
I have a really dumb question. It's an American
Damn, I'm
question.
gonna
Yeah.
kill you later.
Oh, no.
Like over here,
Let him ask the question.
we'll call like someone's nationality something American. Like if you're like African American or Indian American or Asian American. Do you guys do anything like that over there?
No,
So
you
we
just
don't say you're
black or
African.
white.
Not really. The thing in our country is that most of our immigration has been in the 60s and 70s, has been from former colonies. So they've already
Windrush.
been Commonwealth. Yeah, Windrush. They've always been Commonwealth. So,
People usually say they're either English or from the country that their parents were.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You just kind of say that.
Or Asian or whatnot.
But like,
Yeah, if that's the Asian, then you just kind of say that.
No, that's not what I was saying.
Well, that's
Oh,
what I was.
I'm surprised I haven't been bullied.
All right, I have a controversial subject real fast. I just want like a
We
yes or
love
no. Just a yes or no would suffice. Was 9/11 an inside job?
No, we did it.
No.
We're going to try and recolonize Afghanistan.
no,
Before you guys
yes,
do that.
yeah, it was. It was a big thing over here. It was.
Bro, we
Well, I
never
mean-
really had
Oh, no.
Afghanistan.
It was massive over here. Like in like year 9, I think. Well, in year 9 I did it. You like.
You
do,
did
like,
drugs? Oh,
subjects
fuck,
in
sorry.
9/11.
Well, I mean,
But like
the
we,
thing
I,
with
I never
9/11
studied it in history. I did it in drama.
What?
What?
Oh, you did what?
We
Oh,
studied
yeah.
9/11 in drama.
Oh, back in a bit.
That's pretty weird.
I mean, the thing with 9/11 is that 9/11 is rather sketchy in general, like the reasoning behind it, if it was real or not, if it was whatever the hell
It
it
was
was.
definitely real.
Okay,
Yeah,
I have a controversial question then.
Go for
Don't
it.
care.
Where is Madeleine McCann?
Right here.
Oh,
It's
oh,
me.
Freezer.
It's me.
I don't even know who that is.
Madeleine
Oh.
McCann was a little girl. Was a little girl who got kidnapped from a hotel room. Where was it? Like Portugal. Or
In
something.
Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah,
Massive
and she's been
holiday.
missing for like 10 years or something,
Wait, is
and no one
Madeleine
knows where
McCann
she
not a thing in
is.
the US?
No, she's buried under someone's drive in
Oh, I
Portugal.
totally Wikipedia.
No,
this thing.
that was a false thing.
It was like a
Yeah.
fucking massive thing here when she
Is,
just.
is,
Yeah, they still
But they
get
did have a
coverage
whole-
now.
they did a whole
It was
Netflix
9
documentary on her.
Yeah, it happened in
Yeah, it doesn't mean there's
2007.
no fucking case, Jess.
I know, but like,
To be honest, I reckon she's just dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of two things. Either she's being raised as someone else's kid, or she's dead. She's not gonna know who she
Or
is.
she's a sex
Or she's in like a sex ring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're that.
It's gonna be like
We can go darker.
It's gonna be like Taken, but no one came to get her back.
Yeah, I mean, she was 3 though. I feel like that would. That's a
Hey,
little,
some people would.
Over
like that's a lot of time to like
oh, it's
invest into just turning her into a
About-
sex slave.
What?
Go away, Adam.
What the Madeline McCann submarine that thing?
No, 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 no.
All right, there's a lot of no's. We're gonna change the subject a little bit.
Wait,
COVID.
quickly
yeah,
tell me.
good idea.
They're both at the bottom of the sea.
And she was
That
like
wasn't-
5 years old.
That was not even good.
Yes, but it's wrong.
It's a child, Daniel.
George, it's not bad. That's what you say.
What did I say?
I'm
Nothing.
not gonna repeat it.
Hold on, I'm gonna ask this chat.
Lord.
Right, move
Can
on,
you,
Chat-
can you
move on,
type
move
it
on.
in? Can you type it to
Next
me private?
question.
Chat, what do you think
Next
about Madeline
caller.
McGann, the girl
Okay,
who
yeah, next question.
in
go on.
2007 was kidnapped? All right, yeah. My next question was going to be about COVID-19, and I kind
Oh,
of want to talk about the
I'm
differences,
the
I guess,
expert.
between our two countries. Or I'm in Texas, so even my state is different than my country. But
Well, technically, we just have to stay in unless we're either going to work or going to the shop.
We've
or
I just-
having sex.
I just
So
wanna
what-
say
But-
one thing,
But
right
you're
now.
allowed to hang out with one other person as long as you stay 2 meters apart.
Yeah.
I just
So-
want to say one thing right now. I feel for every single person who's been training for like months, saying that this year was going to be their year in a sport or in anything, and now they've had everything cancelled because it's really.
Jess, that's just because you do the sport.
Yeah, I was supposed
Rip
to
Olympics.
Yeah,
that
and
got
everything
fucked
was
up.
cancelled, and it was going to be my year.
We've been legally like in quarantine since the 30th of March, and we've only just like started to come out of it.
Yeah.
But
and
I don't know what they're
stopped.
doing in the US because I feel like I don't know if it's like a mandatory
Protesting
thing in
to
the
get out
US
of
or
it.
not. Wait, is it a mandatory thing to be in quarantine in the US?
It depends, doesn't it?
it kind of depends on your state. Now everyone, I mean, they're pushing for everything to open back up. My state, everything's opening back up on the 18th, so in 3 days. Other states are
That's a good
taking it
idea.
more seriously, and they're keeping everything closed.
Like New
I
York.
think for us, then I don't think they're planning to really open things up until like July or something.
They've kept furlough going until October.
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be off work until October.
So
Oh,
how does
by the
that?
way,
Adam,
by the way,
you
So
get
does
paid
the-
like £3
Does the
an hour.
government pay your wages during this time?
they
or,
pay
like-
80%. They pay 80% of your wages for the months that you have off, but they still tax you for the money they give you.
But they're talking about lowering the furlough to 60.
What?
Oh, that's like
That's
Adam,
so
that's like
bad.
£2 an hour.
That's
for
like
it.
£2 an hour. No.
Dallas jailed a lady.
Please, I still get to work. I'm earning.
Shut up, George.
Dallas jailed a
All right,
lady.
fuck off then.
I'm earning peanuts. I earn like barely anything.
Earning peanuts.
I'm earning peanuts.
Wait, Adam, I get more than twice what you earn
I
an
know.
hour.
George, how much you get?
I'm quitting my job.
I get
like,
$7.50
after
an
this
hour.
one.
You said that ages ago.
So when
Yeah, but you
all
still
that stuff
work.
happened, did you guys have to like go online? Like, how does like I don't know. Do you sign up for like disability, unemployment? Do you go to a website? Do you call a number? Does it automatically
Give
come?
it to you.
Your
For what?
employer submits
Adult?
your average hours.
Like, I guess your furlough pay or your government check or whatever. I don't.
You just kind of have to apply for it, like
Mm.
basically.
Or it gets given to you.
Your employer submits your average hours that you've worked over the last year or however long you've been employed for.
Oh, so it's kind of like. I guess over here it was going off everyone's like tax returns. If you didn't really file for taxes or if you made too much money, you weren't getting anything.
Yeah. For me, I think like quarantine is actually helping me save money. Even though I'm getting paid less, I'm making more because I'm not going down to the co-op every day and buying like, I don't know, Skittles or something.
Yeah.
So
I think
what?
Oh, fuck.
What is open for you guys? Is it just like grocery stores?
a lot
Yeah.
of shops, some
Grocery
like
store, you have
Could
to
you
queue up
possibly
to
pull
get
me into
them.
main
There's like
Discord
2
chat
meter gap
TLS?
queues in the like.
yeah.
The queue for Tesco's is miles long.
Some like fast food places, like KFC and stuff, they're still open.
But only by
McDonald's
drive-through and delivery.
Yeah, over
Like,
here,
you can't really-
restaurants.
Open.
All the
But the
restaurants
one
here are
thing
open,
that-
but drive-through.
The one thing that never shut down was the drug dealers, so that's good.
Shut down.
Shut down,
I mean, that's
doesn't mean it's-
what? Yeah, like in Texas, gyms. Everything's opening on the 18th, but yeah, the gyms have been closed. I think they opened up. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
even know.
pretty much literally everyone's off school unless you're like a key worker's child, so like police or nurses, because they
No,
have
it's
to be out.
schools open for reception 1 and 2 at the end of this month.
They tried to
Yeah.
move everything to online classes
As in,
over here.
right, yeah, but as in right now, like nurseries are still open for key workers' children.
Yeah,
Oh wow, I don't even know
But, like-
about that over here.
this is like our second month in.
We've been in for over 8 weeks, I think.
I'm slowly losing my mind.
Good.
I've lost a little bit, to be honest.
You deserve it, Adam.
What did you say?
Dan,
What
would you
did
like
say?
to borrow my gun?
Yeah.
Do you guys do you guys have like an ETA of when things are gonna like open back up?
Not
No.
really.
No.
They're just slowly
They're-
releasing little things, like
They're-
you're allowed to hang out with.
They're
people.
basically giving us like roughly this time, but we're not promising anything. So because they don't want to give us an exact time, because if it's not that time, they'll have an uproar and everyone will be like, "Well, I'm going out anyway." So
Yeah, Americans are fucking. They're going crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
British
libertarians.
people are idiots
Libertarians are
because
going a bit.
half of them can't read and write. Like the chavs are retarded.
no, it's just the chavs had nothing else to do other than to get drunk with each other, so they just keep doing it.
That's pretty much what we do.
Yeah, you need to forget that there's a split between the moderate, like the ones who understand what they're doing, ones that don't. You got the retards who are like, the diseases
Like
aren't
that.
real. I'm gonna do it anyway.
What, like
And you got
Dan and
ones in
George?
America, like the libertarians who actually care about freedom. I know
Um,
some of them being retarded.
no politics.
Some of them
after
are making a
that.
good point.
I think a good
Alright,
split
yeah,
between Americans would be the ones who believe WWE is real and the ones who know it's fake.
Yes.
I in their defense, I think they all know it's fake. They just treat it like a soap opera.
I know, and I support that because I watch it, but still, there are people who believe it's real, and
I've never realised
I believed it was
that.
real until I was like 11 years old.
Yeah, I feel like once they started hitting each other with sledgehammers, I realised it was fake.
I mean, I know it's
Oh,
it's fake.
Jesus.
I still got upset when Becky Lynch had to relinquish her title on Monday. Like, you know.
Although, what's the worst injury they think that they could actually get from that? Because it's still
They
pretty.
they get broken neck. They get broken necks. Owen Hart died in 1999.
Yeah, they can fall wrong. They hurt their backs and knees and
I don't
stuff
watch
like that all the time.
WWE.
Or if he actually hits him with the sledgehammer.
Owen
Yeah.
Hart literally
Can't watch
died in the ring in
WWE.
He did.
1999.
He fell from the
Ron
rafters.
Paul.
Oof.
What about Ron Paul?
Like, you
Wait,
know.
You gotta
it is
add
real,
more
though.
context.
Yes.
Do you
well,
guys? Do you guys?
Fucking moron. This is fight. Oh my god.
There's two more questions about COVID. One, have any of you gotten the test?
No, but a friend
No.
of us, a friend of ours
test? No,
actually
I
had
haven't had the
COVID-19.
But
Did
A friend
they?
of ours actually had COVID-19, and
Who?
yeah, Faris. Faris,
No, I've
he
never
worked
gotten the
basically.
test.
No, Faris works on the front line. So
Yeah,
our
he-
friend
well,
works for a
my
He
friend
actually
works
was-
in a hospital.
He actually works in the main
Front
hospital.
line. He's in the
That's what they
trenches.
called it.
Shut up, Adam.
So they're not
Oh,
just
he's
like
having
pushing
them.
tests for everyone, just to make sure.
No.
No, they
They
save them.
want to.
They
No,
save
but
them
you
for
can
the
get them.
people who need them because people
Yeah.
are so. Our NHS is so fucking poor.
They say.
Oh,
They say
But at
that
least
if
we
you-
have an NHS.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
They say if you
Phil.
have a cough, just stay inside, and that's it.
Yeah, basically, as long as you're inside, they don't really care.
Over here, they were kind of like, if anyone has any type of symptoms, we're giving away tests for free. I went and got tested because I had like a sinus infection. It's not a very fun test.
Yeah.
Can you send us some of your tests because we don't get any. We have barely any.
I'm pretty
Like,
sure I'm
You-
pretty sure I've actually had it.
They
but
turned
got
like
it
these
for it.
parking lots into like this military-style compound. They used like school buses as like walls, and you had to like drive in. You had to stay in your car. Like you had to do everything through a window. Everyone was like in masks and smocks and all this sort of stuff. You had to give the test to
The-
yourself inside your car.
Legit, the local shop just down the road from me, the Tesco's, the big one, they've got like wire fences up everywhere, so you can't go in different directions, and they have security in like every other turn.
It's crazy. It looks like a weird post-apocalyptic movie.
It's the most boring apocalypse ever.
This isn't.
I wanted zombies.
Yeah. Well, you got a viral apocalypse.
Adam, you act like you could survive.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
I know,
should
but
stick
at least it
around.
would be more entertaining.
I literally
What, you'd be
stopped-
dead in the first 10 minutes? You wouldn't have anything to entertain.
At least I'll die after Aaron.
We literally
Yeah.
bought over 100 shotgun shells
Adam,
just in case. And
Why not use a rifle?
Okay, so
You
that's a good
don't.
segue. Do any of you think that this is some type of COVID-19 was created by the government conspiracy, thin out the
No.
population?
Oh, Aaron,
Yeah,
Aaron,
they
I
don't.
don't want to add one!
They
I
need
don't
to
Hold on,
recharge the
hold on, let me
pigeon.
explain.
No, I have a good
They
argument
need to
for this.
recharge the pigeon.
I don't
The
see how
Basically,
birds work for the bourgeoisie.
Basically, let me
I
explain.
don't see how it would benefit any government to completely fuck up their economy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Basically,
That's my
the
argument.
virus infects men like more
Good.
than
Ah.
women. Like,
So it's
and
true
if
for
you were
men.
creating a virus that would affect a population, you wouldn't want it to just affect like certain people. You would want it to affect absolutely everyone.
Well, no, you might want it to affect the most important people, so...
Mm.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, like, what?
Shut up, George!
Shut up, guys. I think the theory behind my idea behind it is that it's natural, pretty natural. No government
It
made
is.
it.
Or
Yeah,
at least if
most
they
of them-
did, it was an accident to release it.
It either came from the Wuhan biology lab or it was just a natural occurrence. The meat market.
Yeah, so you're saying
then
if it was
China
engineered,
is-
it was a complete
it's-
accident that it was released.
Yeah, I don't
This
think
is
this has
the key-
benefited anyone.
This is the key thing about this. No, the key thing about this is that China knew about it for about 2 weeks, did nothing about it. But what they did do was they shut down all international and all
Like old
domestic flights to China from Wuhan province. They kept open international flights. So my theory is they tried to not get rid of it in China. You can't do that. Offer it to the rest of the world. Have a massive recession, because China's going through a massive recession about past half year more or less.
But at the same time,
Stocks go around.
if you have all these bull economies, like first world economies that buy from China, and then they're not going to buy from China.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's good, though, that we're not just going to outsource to them anymore. We're going to start producing our own stuff.
Yeah, like
protectionism.
if anything, yeah, this has definitely secured a foothold in the nationalist agenda.
Oh yeah, well, Trump's a retard. In my opinion, he's a fraud. He is such a fraud. He's tricked all the Republicans into thinking that he's a pro Second Amendment when he's not. He is a fucking fraud and a liar.
Wait, what's that?
Aaron, are you not going to inject disinfectant into your body?
Well, he came out later and
was-
said that was sarcasm, and you guys just didn't understand it.
Oh,
Why would
God.
you make sarcasm in a why would you say something sarcastic in a official statement?
Because he's
Because
Trump.
it's funny.
Like,
Okay, George.
Lol, people died.
All right.
Trust-
to be fair, it is kind of
Globalism
like
is
natural
dead.
selection at that point.
Yeah, if they actually thought that would work, then they kind of deserved it.
Do you guys think
Well,
this
am
is
I-
like
am I wrong?
a step back for globalism?
Pardon?
Do you think this is like a step back for like the global economy type of thing?
Hopefully.
I mean, one example of this in Europe is that I know that Italy and Spain have gone up in rejection of the EU, and the EU's
Trump is a
basically
fool, no doubt, but he is not raising my taxes.
like a union.
Be careful
You know,
with
you've
your
got
words
state-
here, Aaron.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to explain it to you because you understand it. You know, you got states and you got the federal government.
Do not compare European Union to the United fucking States.
I'm trying.
I would
doesn't
much
matter.
rather live in
Nah.
America than in a massive European.
I would as well. I think,
Oh,
I think
George,
the EU is
pipe
shit.
your mouth.
Fuck
I need
off,
to
Maisie.
explain-
Go live in
I need to
Singapore with
explain-
your dad.
Oh god.
I hear Singapore's nice.
I know, it's really clean. You get arrested for chewing gum, or you
That's
get
what I've
fined.
heard. My mom used to live there.
Do you?
That's what she'd always
Yeah.
talk about.
Chewing gum's illegal, and if you smoke in a wrong area, you get fined like 600 Singapore dollars.
Me and Lewis be fucked.
How many dollars
you
is
would.
that in US or
I don't
pounds?
know. I'll check.
All right, last COVID
So
question.
cool.
Have you guys learned any new hobbies or anything like that?
I've started
No.
whistling quite well.
You started
Oh,
wedding?
it's fucking annoying.
I have to play guitar.
I can
I mean-
embroider and do gel nails.
I've been
No, I don't
tattooing
care.
myself and making music.
Sleep. That's about it.
Yeah, Lewis,
I
you
can
gonna give me
play-
that tattoo?
You're gonna have to
Yeah,
share
it's
some of those
Symbolism
pictures on
equals
Discord.
exploration of impoverished
I think I've
workforce.
read
Lewis,
like
I actually haven't
40
seen
books
your
in the
tattoo.
past few weeks.
Yeah, Lewis, can you
Stuff
show
like
me
that.
as well?
Yes, I'm
I'll
me.
show you it in a bit. I'll show you it in a bit after this.
No, do it now.
No, you Gaylord. I'll show
Shut
you
up, do it now, you bitch.
it. Show you
Lewis,
it.
just Snapchat it to me.
Is there anything you guys look forward to when the world goes back to normal?
Getting drunk.
Competition.
Yeah,
Getting
pissed.
pissed.
Yeah, guys.
Put someone's pussy.
I like how.
To be
I like
honest,
how.
to be honest, Lewis, same.
Oh,
Being
like
allowed to fight again.
Yes, that sounds so ominous for those people that don't know you do a sport. Like being able to fight again.
By the way, Jess is actually a psychopath. She goes around beating up random people.
I just can't wait to get actually
No,
paramedic.
Psychopath.
I just
It's-
want to kind of see people again.
Yeah.
So-
I want to get paramedic.
So you guys can't be in
Saw me one
groups
day
more
ago,
than
you
two?
forgot.
Wait, what did
Wait,
she say?
pardon?
Sorry.
You guys can't be in groups more than two? Is that what I heard earlier?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
You can, just as long as you don't get
Yeah.
caught.
Yeah.
And you
We can't be in a pair.
Yeah. Over here, I think they capped it at like 10, but still.
Oh, what?
It
Two.
was
But that
10.
depends on the state, doesn't it?
the fuck?
Like there's state laws and there's federal laws.
Well, and you had a lot of police forces over here saying that they weren't even
Shut
gonna.
up, avocado.
They weren't even gonna like. I don't even know the word. They weren't gonna arrest people for doing stuff like that. It's kind of like how they came out with a law saying that you had to go out in a mask, and then the police chiefs came out saying we're not gonna fine you or arrest you for not wearing a mask.
Over here,
good
if
on
you
them.
go to, like, if you're going for a walk in a bigger group and, like, someone catches you and they report you, you'll get fined. And that's it.
Are your parks
Well,
open?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Video in my
Well,
park
kind of,
today.
but kind of not.
What the?
Basically,
Someone was video in my park today.
Why?
oh yeah, because they're a bunch of
This is a great
reporting
podcast.
wankers.
Oh.
People who
Oh,
report
and
people who
600 Singapore dollars is 419 US dollars.
I got a
I mean,
subject
to
for
be
you,
honest,
Devin.
so
In the
people
wrong
who
place,
report
yeah.
People who break quarantine, the same people who report Anne Frank. That is the Basically, report people who are breaking quarantine, the same people who report people like, I don't know.
That is, I would agree with that.
I mean, yeah.
Well, you're
Yeah.
like your own. I mean, we for years we fought like communism and
For
like the
years we fought.
self-report,
Wait.
like reporting like other people. Yeah, so
Can I just ask one question? What does everyone think about the tracking apps the government wants people to start using?
Oh,
I think
well,
some
that is
governments
already-
have
Oh, is that a
told-
UK thing?
yeah,
I think it was in like Norway.
I
They
look
have,
white,
they
this
have,
toilet.
yeah, in Norway they
White
have it
Testament, yeah.
where you don't have to have it, but you're like a good person if you have it. And if you don't have it, then you're like a bad person.
So
And they,
when
they were
For
thinking
real,
about
very
implementing it
entertaining.
here, but what do people think? I hate it.
I hate it as well. Yeah, it's Orwellian.
Thank you.
It's Big Brother.
Jess
it's
is lagged out again.
This is going
It's
to be
1984.
1984, yeah.
Yeah, it's 1984.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff people
I'm
go to
saying-
war with or for.
I mean,
But
just
if
because
they
it's
sold
American,
it, like, I don't understand, like, cause Snapchat has a tracking part to its thing, like, they can
Yeah.
totally
I
get a
don't
third
know
party
why
with
not.
that.
I ain't having tracking
Once
apps
they
on my
start, it will
Yeah, I
never
don't,
go
yeah.
away.
I only let
I mean,
people in our friend
Not
group see it.
VPN.
So you don't
look,
think
I mean,
you don't think any? Well, do you have any friends who would sign up for something like that?
Probably some.
oh yeah, yeah, some
Yeah.
of it.
I
I'm probably
would,
brain dead enough to do it.
I would personally, not because I agree with it, but because if I was to get in contact with someone, it like affects people I'm around. So I'd rather do it because then it will tell you if you have been near someone that has it. But I don't necessarily agree with it.
What if they sold it to you? Like, this is the way that you get like your government pension or whatever, your
If they
unemployment.
paid me to use it, then
Revolt.
yeah,
If they
I'd use
paid
it.
me, then
I'd
yeah,
revolt.
sure.
Revolt
Yeah, I'll
from
do it.
That's all it takes,
Yeah, sure,
government.
that's free
you listen.
money.
You listen
That's
here
free money.
first. FBI, CIA, and
If they paid me, then they can track my smartphone. I'll just buy a Nokia and take that out.
I mean,
yeah.
to be
MI6.
honest,
I know you're listening.
MI6 is listening.
the point out to
Well, it
to
is
Americans.
MI6, right?
Have you ever read 1984 and other Orwell stuff? Because if you have, the UK and Europe is more towards Orwellian stuff than the US will ever be. It is scary how close
How
it
many
is to
people
1984
have
in
already
the
been
UK.
jammed up
Yeah,
from
one
Facebook tracking?
one reason I kind of believe in guns is I think America's the last country in the world that would have their government completely fuck them over because there's just so many people with guns.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think that's
the-
why they're always
the
trying to do
Chinese
the gun buyback program. And that's a great segue to the next conversation I want to have, and that's just guns,
Oh, God.
period, is what I have
Yes.
written down.
Okay. Yes. Okay. What's people's favorite guns? Come on.
Um,
I like a Browning high
FN
power.
Foul.
Flavin, what's your favorite gun?
FN Foul or the Enfield.
I like a M16.
What about you, Phil?
I think we talked about this before. I love those semi-auto and automatic shotguns like the
And they are
A12, the
always trying to
Saiga.
take away
the
the guns.
Mossberg.
Just anything that has a big bang.
Yeah, I want a 30-round drum with slugs in my shotgun.
It's gonna be like FPS
Do you own
Russia.
any guns?
Yeah, I own guns. I'm not gonna show them on stream because I don't really know what the what YouTube and Twitch think about guns. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can actually, because I was talking to my brother about that, and he said you can, but I don't know. You could just put it in the Discord.
YouTube lets you show guns.
I'm not big on guns.
I was bigger
I don't
on
agree.
them when I was younger, but I've definitely fallen off because it kind of just turned into an expensive
Right
hobby
now,
over here.
HKVP9 for
I mean, the
handguns.
thing is that only 3 of us here I know of have fired and held guns, and that's me, Lewis, and George. Me and Lewis have both used what you describe as semi-auto military-style rifles, and George just used shotguns.
Yeehaw, motherfuckers.
In the chat, we've got favorite handgun is HKVP9, if you guys know what that is.
Never
That's
heard of
automatic
that.
I
one.
do not know my guns in any way,
It's
shape, or
automatic one, I
form.
think.
Yeah, because you're a bitch, Adam.
Don't
Yeah,
understand guns.
I don't need to.
So,
No,
do you,
no.
wait, so do you guys think that we should have stricter gun laws in England or looser ones?
No, I think we should
There you
have.
go.
I think
Relax to a certain extent.
Okay, for
I think
my
it's fine how
for
it
my
is.
American audience, they don't know. You guys already explained this to me, but explain your ownership.
I got this, boys.
There you go.
I got this. So basically, you can a shotgun is the easiest gun to own because all you have to do is apply for a license, and as long as you don't have mental health problems or a criminal record, you can pretty much get any 2+1 shotgun.
How long
like
does
a
that take?
Side by side or something. When I applied, did it in Easter, got it in November. Don't know how long it is. It's quite a few
So
months.
it's
though.
roughly 6 months.
Roughly 6 months, but that was
get a
mostly
shotgun.
because they were doing a restaffing, so there was one guy doing all of the licenses for 3 counties.
So it could
But,
be like a territory thing, like
Yeah, if you want a shotgun with more than just 3 rounds, I think it's a Section 1 firearms license, which also covers rifles and certain black powder guns. But the reason why it covers all of them is because you have to have a very specific reason for each one of those Section 1 firearms you have to get. Because it's like, if you want a rifle, it's like I'm hunting or various other stuff. If it's for a shotgun, that's
So
like
no
a
semi-auto
10
shotgun
tube.
or pump action.
That is competition
you can have
license.
you can have a semi
And I mean, if you want a
or
pistol,
semi-auto,
which you can
but
get
it
for humane dispatch, which is basically
can only be a
if
certain
gets
amount of
hit by a
rounds.
car,
It
you
can,
go
it can
out,
only
put it out,
be up to like
put
9
it down.
rounds, I think.
That's covered under a Section 1 as well, but there's only like 100 people in England who have that license.
Legally.
So
Yeah.
for that Section 1, that's how you would get something like a Saiga or something, like a semi-automatic shotgun with more than
Yeah.
3
Well,
rounds.
you can get a semi-auto, but it's 3 rounds max on the first license. If you want like
there's not much point.
if you
Like,
want
what
like
if
a banana,
I don't even
then
know
it-
if they sell like Saiga is magazine fed, so I don't even think
no,
they.
you can't have a magazine. It has to be a tube.
Oh.
The only semi-auto with the magazine you can have is a 22.
And the barrel
that's-
length is also.
It has to. I think if you have the Section 1 firearm, which is like the more advanced one, I think you can have. I feel like it's like Hold on.
I forgot the
It's
links,
like-
but you can have the longer.
It's like 13 to 15 if you have the section 1.
3 RDS legal.
But if it's like you don't and you just have the basic one, it's like over 20 inches or something.
Yeah, 3 rounds, 2
I
plus 1.
swear it's legal to own an all-black BB gun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it technically is. It's considered like brandishing like a firearm over here, and if
You
a
could
police
point it
officer
at a
sees you.
policeman. You could point it at a policeman, it would replicate like an actual pistol.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they have the
that's
right to
why-
defend themselves.
I mean, you still
So
can
you'll
get
get
like
blown
black
away.
ones. It just has to have the little orange bit at the end.
Orange barrel.
Yeah, a lot of places quit selling the black guns completely over here. Because
In
of that.
England, you actually have to have a license for them.
Yeah, you have to go
Yeah.
to like the hobby stores to actually get like the competitive style like BB guns and airsoft guns.
Mm.
Wait,
Yeah.
you need a license for BBs?
For
So
black, all
so-
black ones.
That's so sad.
pistols. What's going on with pistols over there?
Pistols
Illegal.
actually got banned in the UK without a section 1.
Took 2 hours for the cops to show up to
after
my
a
sister's
shooting
house.
in Ireland, I believe.
Wasn't it Scotland
it
in
was-
Scottish
it was
primary
It was
Scotland.
school?
Scotland. It was
Dunblane.
Scotland.
Dunblane.
the pistols-
Dunblane.
The pistols got banned in the UK for open carry and concealed carry. So you have to be able to transport a pistol if you have a section 1 in a case with the magazine unloaded. Kind of like the same in America. You have to have the magazine loaded if you don't have like an open carry.
It's like that in California, I believe. Texas, where I'm from,
Yeah,
we're going home. So I
But
can.
like
It
in
doesn't stop people
America,
in London though, does it?
you have different states which like that different stuff.
Yeah.
Depending which county you live in, you can have a different pistol. So one county you might be able to get a revolver, but it has like 3 of the chambers like welded shut. But in a different county, you can get a Glock with a 15 round. It just kind of depends.
Yeah, a lot of people were actually saying instead of like banning guns, they should just make bullets super expensive. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that won't work though.
Or
Wouldn't
just
it
make,
start-
or just make the
Make it
licensing process like a
If you
year
have-
long. So if you
have
really
an
want it, you
intention,
can have it.
if you have an intention, people will pay any amount of money
That is true.
to carry that out.
That is.
But
that's a good
that's why I
idea.
think they should just make the licensing a lot longer. Because if you're like that adamant on something,
How
and
long
you
does
really
it
wanna go
take to get like
murder
your
someone.
section 1?
I don't know about the section 1 because I don't have any of that. But for section 2, it was like 6 months just for a shotgun.
Well, I mean,
Flavin, what's it called to get like your
some of the times
suppressor
they're
and to
very
get
well
your
regulated in the UK, like,
automatic weapons license?
Me and Lewis
Is
both
that like a
done
class
these tests
All right,
for
Aaron, we
having
understand.
three?
Just carry on.
firearms, that sort of stuff. And it took us how long?
Give me
to
some
take
information
WHT?
on that.
Like a few weeks.
A few weeks. To
Yeah,
get
it
a
took us
weapons
like
license.
that was on a bolt action. So that was like and then 2 weekends of just handling firearms, shooting, how not to be a retard, and stuff like that.
Yeah, how not to kill yourself.
So you you guys have to have the class?
Oh no,
No.
it's like an army cadet
Class
thing
3.
that they did when they were younger.
Mm.
I'm trying to look
But
up. I
it's
don't
just
know the
it's so
specific, but over
regulated,
here,
yeah.
your section 1 sounds like a stricter version of our class 3 weapons license, which allows you
Months
to get a
average for an individual.
suppressor and automatic firearms. It
Well,
takes
see, that's-
months. It takes a
that's the
lot of
funny
money.
thing. Is we have to go through so much licensing to get to like a bolt action, but suppressors aren't really regulated. You can just
6.
kind of get one once you have a gun.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, I think they
got
only
a
sell
gun.
them for, yeah, if you went through all that to get a gun, you might as well just let you have one.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
I think the thing is, most of us disagree. I know that me, Lewis, and George disagree with the gun licensing stuff. Right, we all
I
agree
disagree
that
with
it should
the
be
gun
lax.
laws in the UK in general. I think UK citizens should be allowed firearms for home protection, but nothing
I feel
else.
like I feel like pistols keeping them banned is probably a good idea.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know.
Certain
George, the thing is, that doesn't
Yeah,
stop
well,
London
it's-
gangs though, does it?
Yeah,
No, but they mostly have like black powder muzzle loaders, a gangster pulling out a fucking flintlock.
You guys told me before, can't anyone own like a black powder gun?
Yeah, there's like
you
a
can get
story
black
in London.
powder.
It's like there's a story of like a young London gangster pulling out like a what is it, like a black powder pistol on someone in London.
Knife crime in the UK is knife crime is the
Big.
preferred
It's-
kind of murder rate
More
compared to
people
guns.
That's what Americans are told all the time.
America to guns.
Hammers and knives are used the most over there.
We had a stabbing near our old school. This was like 3-4 years ago now. And that was... everyone knew about it. And I think a few of us walked over to where the crime scene was.
It's right next to my house.
Someone got stabbed outside my college when I was going in the morning.
Someone got stabbed
Did they?
back of my house.
Yeah, because your house is
everyone gets stabbed.
So it's like all of you know someone or heard of
Licensing is
a
not the
story
solve.
where someone's been
U.S. arms
stabbed?
ownership is
Yeah.
a right
We
any
live
government will
in
be
a
one
place
report.
that's fairly notorious for.
I've seen someone get stabbed.
Oh,
Our town was the teen pregnancy capital of Europe.
That's my fact. That's my fact. You stole it from me.
When I was in London once during Christmas, I watched someone get mugged and have his head split open.
Oh.
I mean, the worst thing I had was when I was really young, like the toddler, we used to live in London in a flat, and there were literal drug deals on basically our front doorstep.
Aaron,
That's not
my
bad.
neighbour's house got kicked a door through because he was a drug dealer.
Someone just down the road from where I lived got their house raided because they had guns, cocaine, and prostitutes.
The perfect mix for a good evening.
See, as from
you
someone
know-
who's
you know
never
the
been
fact-
to England, and I'm hearing all you guys say is it sounds more dangerous than America's rap.
Oh,
Sounds like
I don't
Chicago.
know.
It kind of depends who you are, because if you go
Yeah.
around acting like a dickhead, you're probably going to get
I feel-
stabbed.
I
But
feel
if you're
gonna
just
get
pretty
killed.
chill, then
You're just gonna get
if
stabbed.
you're pretty chill
You're just
like all
gonna
of
get
us
stabbed.
did, then no one's going to have a problem with you.
Yeah.
I feel like
It
they're
depends
more
on who you
nicer in
associate
England.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't fuck with the wrong people.
Yeah, I guess. I
Hammers
guess.
and knives and more homicides in
It's
the
like
U.S. than
if
firearms.
you're hanging out with someone that's
Oh, really?
kind of a dick to people and involved in a lot of things, then you're probably going to get caught up in it and you'll be a target.
Like-
But if you just
like-
chill out,
If
then
you're friends with,
Yeah,
like, drug dealers
Lewis,
and stuff
did you
like
did
that.
you hear what happened to Zach's little brother?
Zach who?
I don't really want to say his name, his last name.
You know, Zach.
But his little brother Alfie.
Yeah.
Apparently, he got kidnapped
yeah.
and had a rod shoved down his throat, and then got the shit kicked out of him
Phew.
because he was chatting shit about someone.
Yeah, we just don't mix with the wrong people.
Yeah,
That's it.
I mean,
Whoa.
that's what I've heard over
Yeah.
there. It sounds like if you
By the way,
start talking shit
this
to
Alfie
people.
kid is like 15 or 16, and that happened to him. So
He also
I've
beat
been
up a kid.
I've been notified that hammers and knives cause more homicides in the U.S. than firearms as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's because in the UK, if you're caught with a firearm in the UK, you have a longer sentence than if you were to have killed someone or carry a knife. So people
Yeah,
in the
that's pretty
UK
bad.
just really prefer to carry sharp object, anything like a broken bottle, a hammer, because the sentence is so much less if they get caught. Because if they're caught with a pistol, that's like 20, 30 years firearm
but you
charges.
can
and 40 if it's like-
get 10 years in
Lewis.
prison for murdering
Lewis,
someone.
Alright.
Lewis, do you remember when we did sociology GCSE? And
Yeah.
they said that you're more likely to get stabbed if you carry a knife.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much how it works. If you carry a knife, you're more likely to get stabbed.
Yeah, we'll get stabbed.
But
So
if
what
you
do you-
don't carry a knife, you probably aren't. You're definitely not.
That means I'm fun.
I got two questions on the subject. One, length of the knife. What is legal? What's illegal?
You can
no.
carry. You can carry.
Described.
No. You can carry a 4-inch long folding knife, like a Swiss Army knife. But anything more than that, you get.
Perfect brand.
Yeah, like it
So
can't
if-
even be like a lockback. It has to be no lock, just folding.
But some
If you had a locked blade, is there a length on that one, or do they just not? They don't like that.
Pardon?
So for like the folding knives the blade can lock. Is there like a length on that one, or?
You cannot have a locking
With-
knife at
no,
all in
with-
public.
Oh.
You can buy. You can have loads of knives, but you just can't have them in public.
Oh, gotcha. So
you can use them if you're in the scouts or like camping.
If you have a very specific reason for why you need it, then yeah. But if you're just like carrying it, you can't do that.
and you can't have
Yeah.
swords.
No, you can. I've got two next to me, but you can't have them out.
But I mean, oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't carry a sword
I
on
like
your
it.
person.
Georgie's swords are cool.
You don't have like we're not going old school. You don't have a rapier on your belt. They don't allow that anymore.
I actually have one in my cupboard behind me.
In your cupboard? It needs to be right there. It needs to be ready.
Pardon,
Well, when
Phil?
you-
You were really like cutting out there.
I was saying shouldn't be in your cupboard. It should be right there against the wall, ready to impale an intruder.
But I got dogs. They'll start barking. Then I know.
Yeah,
I can just quickly grab it.
But in public,
in his house, we were going to have a sword fight, and we're not with our cocks with the swords.
I have done that drunk sword fighting. It's quite fun.
George. When this is over, we're doing that. We're having a drunk sword fight.
Just go up to.
Oh, there we go.
Not with our cocks.
Oh, God.
I mean, we could do it after.
But just to clarify, you cannot
course,
carry
you do
a sword in public.
You cannot, no. Unless you're knighted, in which case you can. But
Okay, so that's the only loophole. You have to be a knight. How do we make me a knight, guys?
you gotta have the queen really like you and want to put a sword next to your throat.
The other thing I was gonna say.
If you become a streamer that like potentially changes the course of history, then maybe you might get knighted.
Like I saw
probably won't,
crime and
because you're not
global
British.
warming and all that stuff. Yeah, I could marry a British person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do, but I don't know how you get. It'd be nice just for that.
No, I mean like that would be my way in after I change the
You're
world.
in.
Yeah.
No, you gotta live in England probably.
You guys talked about sentencing earlier. Well, first I'm gonna say this: Texas, like 2 years ago, just changed their laws and they allowed carrying of large blades and swords in public.
Fuck yeah.
Of course they did.
For the long, it was because of the Bowie knife or the Bowie knife, however way you wanted to pronounce
I say
that.
Bowie.
I say
Yeah.
We call it Bowie, no.
I have no clue what that
It
is.
was. It's like an 8-inch. Yeah, it's an 8-inch clip tip blade that was made famous at the Alamo, which was in Texas. But it's always been illegal in Texas because the blade was too big. I think we had like a 4 or 5-inch blade length law, and the lawmakers thought it was too ironic that the famous Texas blade is not allowed in Texas. So, yeah, 2 years ago they allowed it all.
I mean, if you're allowed to carry a gun, I feel like a knife isn't too far of a stretch.
I feel like a knife is more personal than a
Southern
gun
guys.
because you have to like look the person in the face when you're doing it.
Well, if you
Well,
put
you
someone
don't.
against the wall and shot them,
A gun, you
Same-
can kind of just
same-
chill at a distance and shoot them.
Same
But,
way,
like,
Do you-
knives,
same
like,
way.
pry up
You still
close,
see your target. You still see your target's face when you're aiming at them.
Do you
Yeah,
think
but
you
you're
should
not,
have?
like, within a
your
meter.
face. You're looking that person in the eyes, like face to face with them.
You have to be
Adam,
really
Adam,
close.
You're
that
gonna
sounds
feel
like a
their
really-
blood.
Adam, that sounds like a really sexual stabbing. You stare into their eyes as you're
What kind of
Double blade.
It sounds like the last time I went around yours, George.
What?
Double blade is illegal?
Oh, okay. No.
America's got dumb drinking laws.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were.
I don't agree with your drink.
Really?
My
Yeah,
opinion of like drinking
Change it to
laws
18 and be
is-
like
that's
the rest of
that's
the
a
world.
double-edged sword for me. Yeah, at the same.
For me,
point.
I think you should be allowed to buy like wine and beer when you're 16, right?
Yes.
And then
Outside
like they should do it on percentages. So like I would say anything above 15, maybe 20%, you have to be 18 to buy, but anything under you can be 16 to buy. And you can't go into bars and clubs unless you're 18.
No,
it
I
is.
feel
It's like that
I feel
now.
that's
You
dumb,
can't
because
go
they
into
used to
bars
have
and
a, like,
clubs until you're 18 here. They do have that law. That doesn't mean
But you can't actually drink at them.
Yeah, you can't drink at them, but you have to be 18 to enter.
Don't they like mark your hand with like an X? if you're
Yeah,
under
yeah.
21?
Some places will mark your hand. Some places will stamp you. Some places will give you a wristband. People always wipe it off, or they
Those
have a
are
fake
Puritan
ID.
laws.
Like, yeah.
Put glue on your hand and
My-
then peel the glue off when you're
My response
England,
would be:
you know-
if you can join the military, you should be able to do all this shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or if you could just own a gun in general, why can't you drink?
Yeah. Well, I
think-
mean,
I think
pistols here is
it's like-
21. Everything else is 18. I think shotguns are a little bit different, but I think that also falls into like a weird parental.
I thought you could have pretty much any gun unless it's a pistol until you're from
No.
18.
No, they categorize them here.
For underage people over here, it was more of a case of like, you got to find a dodgy off license that doesn't care, and it's like we're all
Yeah.
here for making
No,
money.
I got the first time I got served in a bar. I was 16 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just got to find a place that just doesn't care, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure, you can have it. you
Yeah.
can have money.
Yeah. I mean, my friends, when
Yeah,
they were
but-
like 15, were
Okay,
going to gas
okay.
stations, making friends with the employees, and they would get beer. So,
Yeah.
People who
You don't even
want
need to
it
be
to
friends. You don't even need to be friends with them. You just need to go to like
21
the few
drinking
shops
age
that
can
are
about
around.
from states getting
Yeah, there's
federal
like
money
certain
for
ones
roads.
that are like more suspicious.
Corner
So
shop.
if you like,
Yeah.
if you go to like co-ops or something, they won't. There's like the dodgy like off-license shops that you
Nothing
go
to
in and
do
they're
with
like,
drinking.
yeah, you look around about 15, but we'll give you a like bottle of vodka. It's fine.
Yeah.
It works if you've got older siblings as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if you've got older siblings, they'll just buy it for you. 'Cause
Yeah,
they-
exactly. Oh, you fucking. Oh,
Flavin in
I
the
hate
chat says that in America the drinking age is because states want the federal money, and it doesn't have to do with.
Yeah,
anything
I've heard
else.
I feel like that's still dumb though. Like, just let the kids.
Yeah.
I swear the drinking age is lower in some states, isn't it?
It
But not
probably
every-
is. Yeah, I mean, all these states have a little thing. There are federal laws, and that's up to federal agents to prosecute you. So
You guys,
I feel like making the legal age 21 is just kind of dangerous because you're gonna go 21. Like if you actually do it, like 21 years without drinking, you're just being 21.
Nah,
dude,
I
even
can
at
do it.
18, it's dangerous. You move out
You
of
get
your
absolutely
parents'
lashed
house.
on your first time.
By the time
Yeah.
I was 17, I already figured out how much I can and cannot drink.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's
I
why
was-
most of
I
the
was
college
16.
kids here, college and military people, get in so much trouble because they move out of their house, they move away from their parents or whatever their responsible structure is, and then they have all this freedom. Like,
Yeah.
allow it
it's
to
like,
happen. Yeah, I agree. Like, allow it to happen at like 16 or something like that. Let them do it around parents. Get some responsibility going.
Oh, we didn't do it around parents.
Yeah.
Ew.
Like shed off.
We did it in like a park field.
Yeah.
One time I got a drunk.
Yeah, but you're not getting behind a wheel either at the age of 16.
No, we
Huh?
can't drive until 17.
You have to be 17.
Yeah, yeah, 17.
Yeah.
And you just take a full-on test.
Which I
lesson.
kind of understand because like England's a very small country and everyone having cars at 16 that kind of be too.
You can drive a moped at 16.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
fine.
it's like
you
that
just
over here,
weave
too.
it
You can
around.
drive a moped at 15, I swear.
You know about the
No,
park.
it's 16. 16.
Oh, is it
No,
16?
I don't care.
You
The
can.
more
What
people
about the
that
parks?
60cc.
I'm just looking at the stream, but it's muted. Someone put, you know about the parks. It's like, yeah, the
Yes,
park.
sir.
Wait, Phil, can I just ask, do you Americans, like when you're teenagers in high school or whatever, do you ever just go sit in a park and drink dirt cheap booze? Like cider or something?
I haven't personally, but yeah, the people will definitely
They're dark.
do something like that.
I
It's
have a
mainly
great
weed.
photo of one of our mates who's like halfway up a tree with like beer in one hand and climbing with the
Oh
other.
yeah, I remember that.
Who?
Yeah, isn't it? Finn.
I got you that.
Oh.
Over here, people will go to like the park and like sit on a bench and like smoke pot. That
Yeah.
that is what I've
I
seen
think people
personally.
here don't really care. They'll just sit on like a park bench completely in
It's
the open.
basically decriminalized here because
Yeah.
the police don't really act out on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
you're like stumbling around and you're like a 14-year-old who can't walk,
Or
then
if you're
they probably
dealing.
Or
don't
unless
care.
you're selling it. If you're selling it or you're absolutely bonked, then
Yeah.
you'll get.
In America, we have laws against drinking in public, so that's what's
What's your
stopping
opinion?
most people.
No one really
Yeah.
cares about drinking in public here. Like
Yeah,
I've seen
when I
people-
look,
You get
when
the-
I went to Europe, I enjoyed it. In some places in the United States, they'll like shut down streets at night, and people are
Wow.
allowed to drink in public. I guess.
Texas will be holdout state.
The land of the free.
I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like in Europe, England is seen as like just a bunch of alcoholics.
We actually
Wow.
are.
Well,
Just-
every time we talk to you guys, you're like, "Oh, just give me a pint and we're good, brother." I can't.
Yeah,
speak it.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember the good
we
old
have- we have
days
a
of being
very- we have a
16
very
and getting like a
dodgy
2-pound
relationship
bottle
with
of a 2-liter cider.
Yeah.
A 2-pound bottle. Like, what does that even mean?
£2. Oh, wait, let me let
One-
£2.
$1
It's like
and a bit.
That's like $1.20.
I remember.
no, pounds are worth more. than
Oh,
dollars.
sorry. I
So
was thinking about weight. I was like, who weighs their
I know.
bottles in pounds?
So $2.50, $2.40 for a 2-liter bottle of 4% cider, and you just down that.
Yeah, when we were 16, me and Lewis brought a 2-liter bottle of vodka off my sister, and we took it to a like party around someone's house, and it was gone within like an hour, pretty much the whole
Drinking
bottle.
is a national pastime.
It was
Dude,
I
ridiculous.
was Jake.
Wait, so do you
I was-
guys Do you guys not have like the social stigma as guys that you're not allowed to drink pussy drinks? I guess is what they call them. Cider or
Not really, because that's what everyone
In my
starts off
country, you
drinking.
can drink
And
whenever
as you
you
get
want,
older, you drink
at
more
any time of
manly
the day.
stuff, I
Or
guess.
it's
What
like,
country is
if you're
that?
at a party, everyone will start off with like a cider, and then everyone will start drinking. So it's like if you whip out a cider, then you're fine. Like no
What you
one's
on
gonna-
about? What you on about, bro? I'm already
What
down
country
with
is
whiskey
that?
by the time I get there.
Oh,
God,
whiskey.
Johnny.
I've literally turned up to George's and he's just got a bottle of whiskey in one hand and was like, "Do you
Dude,
want
what?
some?" And I was like, "Not yet."
It was
I haven't
rum a
got
while
that.
ago, wasn't it?
A beer.
Yeah, you warm up.
well,
you
what is
warm
it
up.
called?
Argentina.
Yeah.
Vodka and cranberry juice?
I
Or if
can't.
you're like me, you just go straight in.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
regret
'cause
it.
you're a mess.
But that's
though, mate, so
still
you're an absolute
vodka.
mess.
You're the worst person drunk ever.
You threw up in Lewis's toilet.
Oh no, not
No,
the toilet.
it was the bar. It was the bar.
What, do you guys have any nicknames for your drunk selves?
I
I
don't
know someone that does. I know someone that does.
back.
Idiot.
The Rambler.
They call me
Actually,
like.
no. Mine's player because that seems to be the only time I get girls.
So people call you
Same
that?
George.
Like if you've been drinking, oh look, the player's out, like stuff like that.
I
Yeah.
know someone that is like a full-on Jekyll and Hyde when they drink. Like she'll start off like she's a normal person, and then she's
She.
Oh, it's a female.
Or-
You know what I'm on about, George? You literally dated her for a time.
Oh, Emma.
Yeah. Yeah, Emma. She calls herself
Oh.
Emma. She like goes around, so she almost bottled someone at a party. Really nice person when she's sober. Drinks something and she's off it and is like batshit crazy.
Yeah, she molested me the first time. I met.
I think that's called rape.
That's 'cause you were pissed. You were pissed out of your mind.
Oh, down left.
Oh, so there's a controversial subject. If two people are drunk and they have sex, and then they both regret it, who raped who?
No one, because it's
No
just
one.
if they both agreed to have sex when they were drunk, it's not exactly rape.
Yeah, no,
Well,
no.
they didn't really
I think the thing
agree. They just did it.
I mean, the thing with rape is that
I mean,
if you're both drunk, no one was held power.
I would
Rape
say
is
it
more or
depends.
less when you have power.
I would say it
Dan-
depends how
Dan's in the
drunk
general pool.
them were, because if they're both like
Oh, yeah.
absolutely wasted,
Does bacon need
then
to
you
come
can't really
back?
blame anyone.
Yeah.
But if one person's pretty sober and the other person's absolutely fucked, I feel like that's kind of
Thanks. Cheers.
All right, yeah. So yeah, that was a subject that was popular a couple of years ago. I think around here is because people kept talking about, oh, we were both drinking and then like we had
He
sex
bent me
and he
over,
raped
just,
me or
like,
something.
railing me.
But like the way you heard the story was like, wait, if he was drunk and you were drunk, but you started it, I don't know.
Then I don't think anyone's in the wrong particularly.
I feel like rape in general is just kind of pretty hard to prove anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
I think
right here or
I
in
think
America.
that if someone accuses someone of rape and like takes it to court and like they get accused for it when like literally nothing happened and they get like punished for it and then later on they say, oh, that wasn't, we found out that you were
cannot
lying all
enter into
along
a
and this person's
contract
like,
if you are
like
under the
innocent.
influence.
I think that the person that accused them falsely should have like an equal punishment.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I don't
yeah,
agree with
agree.
false rape allegations and stuff like that because it's all just like,
Yeah, one of my mates from college, his brother's ex-girlfriend tried to report him for it, and the police literally just told her to fuck off because she had reported about 13 other people within a year,
Yeah.
and they were like, "That it does not happen." So
Flavin in the
Yes,
chat
that-
says you cannot legally enter into a contract if you're under the influence.
really, so if you have sex when you're drunk, it's just rape, no matter what.
No. He's saying like, I guess it falls under my next part where I was gonna say, do you guys think consent can be revoked, like
No.
after
Well, you
the
can't,
thing
really.
happened?
No, you hell.
No. If it's like already done and then it's already happened and then you say no afterwards, you're like, hang on, but you said yes beforehand and during, and now afterwards you're saying it's rape. That doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
it's like
no.
it's not. You consented to it. You still did it.
Do you
And now-
guys
Fuck
do you guys
the
remember
pressure.
the consent talks they forced us to
No,
go
it's
to
still
in
happening,
school?
Sauce.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
did.
consent.
Start asking some questions.
I didn't.
They literally just said
Think
if
it's-
someone says they've been raped, you have to believe them, and only
No, I hate that. I
Is
hate
it
that
going
mentality.
Yeah.
It creates like a stigma where I think a lot of like men now are like scared to
I
do
think so.
things because they might be accused of it. They're like, oh, I don't want to do that.
It's more
I'll get
serious than I
abused.
thought. It's very JRE.
Like, it creates that sort of stigma.
I
don't
forgot
agree.
what I was completely gonna say. I gotta remember now.
I don't know where it's worse in America or here.
Probably overall, I guess America because it's bigger and there are just
Yeah.
more cases. But
Yeah,
If
I
you
mean, I've had like professors in the past say that America's problem is that you've got too many cultural divides, and in other countries it's easier because you're they're more homogenized.
It's weird.
I think that's why. I mean, just not to bring it back completely, but I think that's
Military
why some
men
people have
get jammed
a
up
problem with the
all the
European
time.
Union, because it's all completely different countries who are basically trying to mix together as one.
I can't believe I forgot my train of thought.
And also
Plus-
the fact that Britain's got a very
Better.
different kind of political structure to Europe.
With
Well, yeah, because we're an
absolute
with,
island.
uh,
We were
Yeah,
never
we've always had an
really
idea of freedom.
much
I can't
like
remember.
liberalism,
I completely
whereas
blanked
Europe's
on this.
more autocratic and
France is socialist, so
France is socialist. Keep revolting.
just kill them all.
They can't
Okay, so on
to be honest,
crimes, you guys talked about sentencing earlier. Let's get into another controversial one: the death sentence.
No,
I think
for it, but it needs to be dead certain they did the crime.
yeah, it needs to have 100%
It's,
proof before they.
DNA.
How could you possibly
Evidence,
get 100%
CCTV.
proof?
for
Basically
mine,
saying
the whole
that
world's
if-
lying.
Basically
so-
saying like if every single person in the jury, if every judge, if every piece of evidence that they could possibly get points towards them committing whatever crime they would be executed for, then I'm for it. But if it's like they could have done this,
Like
then
they
no.
need physical evidence, not just like a witness.
If-
Or
if
enough.
I
there
think
were-
they need admission of guilt.
If there was video evidence of someone stabbing another guy to death, then I think that's fine. But if it's like witnesses say, well, I think I saw this dude do it, then no.
What about as a deterrent? Do you think it deters people from committing
Oh,
heinous crimes?
I think it deters a few, but not everyone.
No, I feel
It's
like
just
some
a simple
people, if they're mental, they just don't care.
Yeah, or if they want to
like
die
you guys-
themselves.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing is, that
it
the
just
answer like
like
this is suicide by. You guys got suicide by cop, but guys are like, I'm going to
Yeah,
kill myself.
that does happen all
I'm
the time.
going, I don't know, rob a car, find the police, wave what looks like a gun around and say, come and shoot me. That's the problem that you guys have got. That's why
Yeah.
I know your police have got problems with like you have to use taser, you have to have less than lethal, and
Yeah, we have the escalation of force, but if the officer is under... If they think their life is in danger, they're allowed to use deadly force.
Yeah, and wait, can I just ask? So if the police get called to someone who has a gun over in America, do they have just like a fair amount of just normal police officers show up, or do they have like the SWAT team? Because here in England, if someone has a gun, they have the entire armed police go to them with like 3 armored cars.
CCSO show up.
Yeah, if someone
Yeah,
has
they
a
are
pistol
being
here,
featured.
they have like 20 armed guys with machine guns going at them.
It's gonna
Body armor.
depend. Like you're gonna have your
Escalation of force is laughable.
You're gonna have your reporting officers first, so maybe like 2 of them will show up in 2 different squad cars. They're gonna try to get eyes on it, and then if they report a gun is actually being brandished, yeah, they're gonna call in. A lot of police officers also have their own armor, and they'll have like an assault weapon in the trunk or shotgun in the front, and they'll hide behind their cars and load up on that stuff.
So they're pretty kitted out just to be able to
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
themselves.
Every
Yeah.
cop here already
They'll-
has the kit. I
Most
guess.
police AR-15s equipped with them.
I don't know if they would call it like a SWAT team type of thing unless there is like reports of like a hostage situation or something like that.
Oh,
Well, I
yeah.
mean,
I'm not a
in the
cop,
UK,
so I
for
can't
example-
tell you exactly what the operation
Well, I
would
think
be.
one of the things in the UK
Yeah.
is one example of the UK is that how it kind of escalates from cops, armed cops, CTSOs, counter-terror,
Shotgun
who are
in
these
every car.
badass like
It says only 3
they're pretty
viewers.
fucking good.
They're a bit
There's
like
some on
borderline
YouTube. This is
military.
YouTube and
Yeah, and then you got the more military,
Twitch.
which is SES, SBS, who step in if big shit goes down. So that thing in the 1980 with the embassy, that was SES. After London Bridge terror attacks, the SES got pulled in. And also raids on Manchester bomber bomber's house, the raids were done by the SES, not the police.
Yeah.
Fart.
So what is
Basically,
what
the
is that?
SES get called in when you've really fucked up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And if you've got the SS after you, you are going to die because these people can punch doors in, kill the people, pull hostages out in like 5 seconds flat.
They used to have a skull patch on their uniforms whenever they got their first kill, but the government made them take it off because they said they looked too much like Nazis.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That is definitely the first thing that I was thinking.
But bear in mind, they were the first special forces in the world. I feel like they kind of should be allowed to do their own thing.
Do you know what's worse? They were
Are you
originally called the
recording
SS.
this as a podcast as well?
Their original title was the special. Yeah,
On
originally were called
YouTube.
the Special Service.
How
but
the
like,
UK does escalation should be
it's
the
too close to the
standard.
SS German one, right? Can we change that possibly?
It's just like special air service. That makes it better.
Yeah, but that's better.
So
'cause
it will
SS
be
are the
available
best.
for download.
Yes.
Seals of
But
shit.
Is that where the show comes from?
It'll be on YouTube for
and also
rewatching.
he was
SAS Big Ass
SBS.
Win.
Yeah, but there's also
Twitch will
SBS
keep it
who
for
are
like
more-
6 days
so that's,
as well.
boat service.
I think.
So that's stuff like kayaking, underwater demolition. What else do they do?
Frogman.
Frogman. Yeah, Frogman, underwater demolition.
So those are all like military teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're military. They are.
So
they come from.
your military
RAF,
and
Navy.
police work together?
Some
England's a
extent,
small
yeah.
country. They do sometimes.
Well, I mean, for instance, our intelligence services, all of our intelligence services are actually military. So MI5, MI6 are properly military. So they're military intelligence. Then you've got GCHQ. GCHQ are our NSA. MI5 is our FBI. MI6 are your CIA. But they all work together.
Over here, they don't do that very well.
Yeah, but I mean, America's massive, so you can't
Yeah.
complain.
Well,
Here in
they
England,
all
it's
kind of
like-
compete. Over here, it's like a team thing. Like,
Yeah, here in England, it's probably like a 20-minute walk to each building. So.
It literally is. You can walk down the road, up a bridge, and you're there.
Yeah, it's pretty.
The funny thing was that the MI6 building plans were lost by a contractor, which I find hilarious.
What? So no one knows where
lost.
There is a copy of MI6 headquarters of a map floating around somewhere on the dark web, probably, or in some Russian house, probably.
Oh, here we go. Let's go into more conspiracies. Any of you use the dark web or the Onion Network or whatever it's called?
I'm not going to disclose that.
I have.
Over here, it's illegal to use.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's illegal here, but
Posse comitatus
I'm
no
happy to
military
say
for
I
civilian
have used it
policing.
and I do use it occasionally,
For drops.
just to kind of like see what's going on. You know.
It's like an unknown realm.
In
Yeah.
England,
Yeah.
in England
Interesting.
lately, we've had a lot of censorship, so they don't really let you do much.
Oh, over here, the government wants people to actually use it because it confuses IP addresses when other people are like, when the government is doing stuff. So if the government was the only one using like the Onion Network, I think is what it's called. I forget what it's called. They would constantly
when
be. You would know that it was the government looking at you. So
when they're doing some shady shit, they just don't want people to realize.
yeah.
No. What the government tends to do, make honey traps. So like,
So
government.
they're trying to catch people.
they'll make some
government.
fake hitman website, and if the see it looking inside.
Yeah, I've
These three
seen
hitman
those.
websites all come from the IP address of the I building. Definitely the feds. They'll just do that.
Yeah.
So more people using it, more IP addresses,
It
more
masks
confusion.
who's looking at what. Yeah.
Okay. See, here in England, you just go down to like a pikey camp and give them £100 and they'll go kill anyone. Well, I mean, I'm not exactly wrong, am I?
No.
Did
Or you
you
just
guys
go to-
did you guys know
or you just
anything
go
about like
to
the
a
Silk
road
Road and all that
say-
stuff?
If you just go up to a roadman and say, "Hey, this kid's chatting
Is this
shit,"
a
he's
group
gonna
of
stab him,
friends?
so-
No, this is
Don't
this is
even
all the
need to spend
British
my own
guys. Well, I guess they're
Yeah.
friends now. The Silk Road incident, I think it happened in like 2008 to 2013, maybe.
I saw I
Or the-
think it was Internet Historian talk about that.
I'm
No,
sure
it
he
was
has.
Count Dankula. It was Count Dankula.
Like they know
He did
each
an
other
article.
by
Yeah, it was
Arbel.
Count Dankula.
They
It's
know each
madness.
other in real life.
Yeah, I
Kind
mean,
of
I
the-
feel like that's a pretty good idea, you know? For
China stealing
dealing with
everything,
stuff.
get VPN.
Oh, do any of you use a VPN?
Yes,
Aaron
I'm
does.
doing right now.
I'm looking into
Cool.
getting
Right.
one, but
I used to
My
use.
phone.
They are
my
not paying
phone's
me,
al-
obviously.
My phone one's always on.
I used to use Express. I liked it.
Oh, I use a free one on my phone. I only use it on my phone because I go to school. Not school, university with my phone, and I have that on there. So like, if the firewall says, "Oh, this is blocks," or I'm using some trying to write an essay or a
or you're
thesis
still
or
looking at
whatever,
child porn.
I'm not
Oh,
tired.
George.
I used to
Oh,
live in
not
China,
China.
so yeah, I paid for ExpressVPN, and it was a really good
Oh,
one.
oof! The Great Wall of Tiananmen Square. Ooh.
I mean, yeah, it's true. They definitely have the Great Firewall of China over there, and they're always cracking it down too. So like at one point, my VPNs didn't work for like a week until they had to do like emergency updates and stuff like that to try to get around it.
Did you hear about China? When you go into country, they download a thing on your phone that possibly
I've got
can
a
look at your
question.
emails.
Are they sports
That's why
fans,
you're
and if
taking
so,
nothing.
what 10? Is everyone in
Just take a
university?
gun to the
What
fucking
10?
knock and go,
Asterisk team.
bye bye China. Boom, fucking.
All right, guys, I got a question from the chat. Completely change the subject. Are you sports fans? And if so, what team?
Oh, I play rugby.
I support F1 and I support Mercedes.
I like
And that's a
shooting
race.
guns.
That's
Yeah,
that's
like,
European equivalent of NASCAR.
yeah. No, I mean, we have Formula One over here too. It's not that
I
popular.
think
but-
the only sport
Football.
I really watch is Six Nations rugby, and that's about it.
Oh yeah.
I watched tennis.
Rugby.
That's it.
So none of you guys are football
European
slash
football.
soccer fans?
Football's boring.
Football's a
Football,
family
Manchester.
thing for me.
Yeah.
You guys just blew my mind.
If you go to a game
like
and everyone's like
soccer.
screaming and shouting, it's quite fun. But if you're
I,
watching
Interesting.
I think a lot of our parents aren't particularly football.
My
mad,
family
so,
is very
My
football
family
based.
are.
It's
Mine
more
don't
I think when it comes to supporting a team here, it's more well, my family supports this team, so I support this team. It's more like that.
Do you see football circling the drain as you guys get older? Different age groups come up, or is it still as popular as ever?
I feel like
Oh,
back in
yeah.
the day, it was more of an excuse to just have a really bad punch up, because that's what it used to be.
It's
A really bad what?
Millwall.
Punch up, like a fight. Have you ever heard
Oh.
of the Have you ever heard of the Millwall brick?
No, I've not heard of that.
I'll go Millwall.
Basically, what they did is they had to ban thick newspapers in football stadiums, because what people would do is they'd roll it up tight, fold it over, and it's basically like a rock, and they would just bash each other over the head.
Yeah, they
Should we
used
used
to.
to turn in school newspaper into all Millwall bricks?
Yeah, have you?
Used to do
You hear that, chat?
right?
Turn your newspaper into a baseball
That's
bat.
Like Green Street
They
hooligans.
used to put the stands in cages at football matches, so
Yeah,
people couldn't fight.
Yeah.
Are firms still a thing? Like, you know, the kind of football gangs?
Kind of. I know there's still task forces by the police to deal with them. I know that.
So do you guys have rugby hooligans then? I guess.
That's just
Um,
anyone who's into rugby.
I'm gonna go to sleep. Bye, guys.
I had it.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
I play rugby.
I mean, we have been doing this for an hour and a half, amazingly.
Well, we go to bed at usually 5 o'clock our time, so we usually.
Just got to get stuck into the convo.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
that's
I mean,
something
these are great conversations.
So I have a question. What kind of have you? If you have, then alright. So, tell me if you have done any drugs, and if so, which drugs?
I tried marijuana in high school. I didn't like it. I'm not a fan.
I was not today.
I'm pretty libertarian when it comes to drugs. Like in the privacy of your home, or whatever. I think you should be able to do whatever you want. I
There
tried.
you go.
Officially, we've
I
not done
was out
anything.
with
Officially, we've
Lewis.
done nothing.
I dare go
Okay.
with on Wednesday. I was out with Lewis, and Dan came to see us afterwards because I was basically laying under a tree in the woods having a fucking heart attack.
Vomiting.
And that was on what?
I had a panic attack because I thought it was laced, and I felt like I was having a heart attack.
And that was just weed.
Yeah, I was just it was really fucking strong. I was just in the woods, like panicking on the floor.
Yeah. See, the 2 times that I did it, I got really sleepy. I didn't really care.
I just ate.
I just remember, yeah, it tastes like shit, and I coughed a lot, and I didn't see the fun in being tired for the rest of the day.
Is that the only thing you've done?
Yeah, personally. I mean, besides getting like shit-faced drunk. Yeah, that's it.
Alright, fair.
I'm kind of like, I kind of grew up like my body is my temple type of personality. Again, like I have nothing against whatever people do, but at the same time, I always wanted to work for the government, and it always scared
That
the
was
shit
a
out
wet
of me.
Jimmy.
I was looking at a job of doing, basically you go into shops and see if you can get served underage without ID, and then you just go snitch from them.
Like little
But I
sting
decided not to.
operations.
What, like an undercover shopper?
Yeah, but I felt I didn't want to do it because you get a long ass prison sentence, and all you're doing is selling a 16-year-old like pack of fags. It's not exactly like you're murdering.
Yeah, you're putting legends in prison.
Yeah, I know. I don't want them little kids not being able to get what they want. I remember the struggle.
What else? I mean, the only 2 topics that I have stuck in my head are way off topic.
Yeah, go for it.
Like UFOs. You believe in aliens?
I believe they exist. I just don't think they're here.
There's definitely life because we found water on Mars. You got not Neptune.
I mean, they
Europa.
found like
Life on
cellular
Mars?
life on Mars, didn't they? Or at least like ancient cellular life.
Yeah, and Maisie, don't start breaking out into.
David Bowie
I
said it
swear to
first.
God.
Just saying.
Don't fucking say it. I will kick your door in and.
Jesus
I'll
Christ,
find
calm
out.
down.
So none of you
Hey,
think that
Harry,
aliens have been to Earth and our government's hiding it,
Nah.
and
They walk among us.
reptilians and all that stuff?
Look, I'll put it
Mathematical
this
Lizard
way.
certainty.
people.
If UFOs came to the Earth, we know about it because all of our militaries are not completely airtight. Shit
Yeah.
gets out, and we would have heard about it. Like I remember, family relative was a radar
Drake
operator
equation.
during the Cold War, and he saw everything.
What's the Drake
like
equation?
submarines, aircraft, everything. He knew where it all was. Nothing ever came up. There wasn't some plane going at Mach 52.
How do you know they
or
didn't
some-
replace him though? With the
They are here.
synthetic?
I'm being told in the chat
Because it's
about
the same sense of humor.
the Drake
It's
equation.
the same sense.
The what equation?
The
The
Drake.
Drake equation.
Oh, I've
where
heard of
it's
this.
the probable.
What's that?
I've
The
heard
tr-
of this.
It's the argument used to estimate the number of active communicative extraterrestrial civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy. It's apparently a
God,
statistical
we
thing.
need Matt right now. Matt would be good for this. He knows this kind of shit.
Say Milky Way, and I just think of the chocolate bar.
Yeah, I know. I should get
Hold
them
on,
to school
Milky
every
Way
day.
bars.
Oh,
they were
okay,
sick,
all right. Let's. What is your favorite candy?
Anything with sugar.
Jolly Ranchers. Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, Jolly
you can't
Ranchers.
get
What's your
them
favorite
as
Jolly
much,
Rancher?
the problem is,
No,
we have to
They're
import
very
them from.
expensive.
I don't know.
We
I
have to
like
import
a
them
bit
from
of
the
white
US.
You have to import Jolly Ranchers?
Nice, the best.
Yeah, we pay £5 for a pack of Jolly Ranchers, for £3 or £5 a pack for Jolly Ranchers.
All right. After this,
Because
you guys
I'll be back.
give me an
I gotta
address,
go.
and I'll send you the Halloween pack, where it's like £5.
Madness.
Oh, right when he muted.
Absolute mazzles.
Madness, isn't it? Oh fuck. No.
All right. Is there anything else?
Um,
I mean, we were talking about aliens. We kind of cut that off for candy. I feel like
priorities.
there was another. Okay, yeah. So you guys don't believe aliens are on Earth at all?
I believe
They
they are.
probably are. They probably are because there has been stuff that's been picked up, like
Oh yeah.
oh god, sonar
You remi-
operators picking up at something going at Mach 50, like Mach 5 in the North Sea, and this was a relatively, it was like 20 years ago, and it was confirmed. It was picked up on radar, sonar. Yeah, it was everything. There is stuff here. It's
Boom.
just not as big. It's not fucking reptilians. It's not lizard people. It's not whether the fuck 4chan or
Oh,
exchange.
you just remind me of a bunch of other stuff. Lizard people. Okay, so you don't think like
they're in the fucking
you don't think the
universe.
government is in
They
cahoots
probably
with
are.
aliens?
No, they may know of them. There's always a possibility.
Yeah.
But I doubt they're working with them. Highly, highly unlikely. Because the fact of this is, if they did, we know about them because WikiLeaks would have leaked them years ago.
Yeah, I feel like someone would have leaked something, but I mean, the double-edged sword or the counter argument of that is you have all these government officials. I say that with quotations, who come out and try to blow the whistle on this stuff. Like if you ever watch the Joe Rogan podcast or anything like that, he always gets this one guy on there. I can never remember his name, but he claims that he worked at Area 51 and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, the guy worked for Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, I forget his name. It's not important, or maybe it is important. I don't remember.
No, I'll find
Bob
it and link it to
Bob
our
Lazar.
group-
Thank
our
you,
group's,
chat.
Discord.
Bob Lazar.
Yeah, Bob Lazar. Yeah, that's the guy.
So do you think
Lazar.
he's like a credible witness, or do you think it's?
I don't know.
He didn't know what he saw.
I honestly don't know because the people I kind of trust, the supporters, the people I know will tell the truth. Like, there was one report was done by the astronaut one, for example. There was astronaut on Apollo, can't remember which was the Apollo program where they saw stuff and they reported it. And these people are past army officers, test pilots, and these people are trained to refine it, to give exact commands of what's going on
They find
and
work
how
for the
things are
gov.
performing. They know what they see. And if they've seen something, they most likely have seen something that probably did exist. So,
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
change subjects a little bit. Still on like strange. I don't know if these are conspiracies, but flat Earth or hollow Earth. Any you guys believers of that one?
I think it's a donut.
You think it's a donut? Like we're a big Halo ring? I feel like you'd be able to see the inside of it.
He also made a jet car.
No, sure on the outside.
Dan, I'm trying to. Daniel. Quick question.
Yeah.
Are you being serious, or am I just stupid?
You're
you're just stupid.
Flat
Thanks.
Earth.
Good to clarify.
Stupid female.
Thank you.
Female.
I don't have any flat earthers or hollow earthers in here.
And you cut out quite badly.
Oh, sorry. I don't have any flat earthers or hollow earthers in here.
I mean, like,
No.
I've come across, fucking hell, I can't speak today. Came across one who was like a fucking stupid hollow earther guy, fought reptilians and whatnot. I'm quite sure he was schizophrenic. So,
Just
no,
a
I
heads
don't
up.
know, not really.
As soon as I release my brother segment, I still don't know what it's going to be called. He is leaning towards on the don't get bamboozled by the McDoozle or something like that. He believes in a lot of this stuff. Or I don't know if he believes in it, but he sure does act like he believes in this stuff.
I mean, the thing is, I've done some poking around on the sketchy parts of the internet, so like 4chan and whatnot, like the really off the fucking hook shit. And I don't fucking know at this point. There's some people form logical arguments who, they make good points. And there's some who, like, for instance, one person brought up about 9/11 example. He said that 9/11 was an inside job, and he brought up the example of World Trade Center 5 or something falling down at a rate too fast for real things. Good point.
Do it already.
Can't validate it. I'm not an expert. Then you got the ones who are like the
Do what already?
full on, like, the world ended on 2012, or we're in the Matrix, or the
Oh
world's a lie.
yeah, I've seen that one.
Zootheroi.
On Netflix over there, do you guys have a documentary that's called Finding the Curve? Or have you seen that one?
You cut out quite badly there again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could be my mic, I don't know. On Netflix, we have a documentary, it's been out for a while, called Behind the Curve. kind of pokes fun at flat earthers.
Release your brother's content.
Have you guys seen that? Or if you haven't, I would say watch it. It's behind the curve. Behind the curve.
I have never actually.
It's hilarious.
I mean, the thing in the UK currently is Tiger King. Everyone's watching that.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's watching Tiger King.
I think I only watched like the last 3 episodes, but there's only like 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
So on that subject, did Carol Baskin murder her husband?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That bitch Carol Baskin.
I'm pretty sure it happened too.
Carol fucking Baskin.
Especially after she started talking about like the fish oil or salmon oil or
put them in
whatever.
sardines for it to work.
Your boy's back. What are we talking about?
We're talking about Carol Baskin.
Carol
Baskin,
Baskin,
motherfucker.
I mean, if you look at her eyes when she's talking about it, you can see her eyes moving around. Like when she's questioning about it.
I get a Hillary Clinton vibe from her.
I think we should just kill everyone in that documentary and be fine with it.
Yeah, I'd probably be fine with that as well.
The most shocking part of that for me was, when the guy like shot himself.
Yeah.
By mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe
was it by mistake? I thought it was on purpose.
No, he
was like, it's not loaded. It's not loaded. It doesn't have the cap in, so it can't shoot me.
The clip. It doesn't have the clip in.
Oh, that. Well, I don't.
I wasn't even paying attention. I just
semi-auto pistol. So
that was right when I started watching it. Was where the dude with the glasses. You just see him on the camera, and then you like hear it.
Yeah, he's the only person I wouldn't want dead in that show. To be honest, the rest of them are just kind of all scumbags.
Yeah, he was like that dude's campaign manager.
Yeah.
But they're like somebody out there. They're like it's like a plot line out of a Red Dead Redemption or something. It's like you're riding through the Wild West and you see this menagerie of
Darwin Award
tigers and this mad.
Yeah, I feel like
cowboy.
I feel like they overplayed it a bit. I mean, I think that's just an American thing, not gonna lie. But they said like he hired a hitman. All he did was tell one of his workers, who's like just a massive scumbag, "I'll give you some money if you go shoot this woman."
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't? Yeah, in his defense, who hasn't had that kind of conversation with someone? Like, man, I wish she was just dead. Oh, I'd kill her if someone gave me $1 million, like something like that.
Oh fuck yeah! Hell yeah!
It's cherry picking. It's what.
Maisie, I would kill you for 10 quid.
Thanks.
Maisie, you apologise, you insult people jokingly and apologise to them 5 seconds later. Don't not even fucking do it.
Because you're a simp magnet.
Or just too nice. There's
simp magnet, yeah.
Too nice and simple.
So what is the difference between... I was having this conversation today. A friend of mine didn't know what a simp or a cuck was. And at first I was saying, I know what a cuck and a cuckold is, so I explained that, but I don't know what a simp is exactly.
A simp is a guy who does things
He's really nice to a girl and expects
sex from it.
Get sex. He's not being a gentleman.
Okay, so it's kind of like a white knight.
Yeah, basically.
It's like a white knight.
Okay.
Like, it's being nice to a girl, like holding a girl's hair out of the way when she's being sick into a bath.
What
I mean, that's kind of a friend.
And then there's, oh, where's my hug? Please fuck me.
Yeah.
Please. Oh no.
So yeah, they're constantly friend zoned, but they're always like.
Yeah, they.
Oh, we need to add
Thomas.
They're that thirsty friend zoned guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas
again.
The person who subs to some random girl on Twitch for like.
I don't understand Twitch thoughts at all. That's a way to get me all riled up.
The girl, I don't know if you've seen it, the girl that was like, you can't compliment me unless you sub to me, or she was like, and then she said,
if you can't donate, you should so you can get money too.
You shouldn't be on Twitch if you don't have the financial stability to donate to streamers like me.
Yeah,
no, that's when if you can talk to them, you say something like, what are you contributing to society?
Yeah.
Like, is it just like your cleavage? Because you can't get naked on stream?
It's like
just not on the website.
I think it's more people donate for like they feel like they know the person.
I mean, I get it.
Relationships.
I'm technically a really shitty Twitch thought, but I want to provide some kind of entertainment besides looking at my front butt.
I mean, the thing is with Twitch is the point of media is to build in modern media is to build parasocial relationships.
Oh my god, Aaron.
The idea is, oh yeah, I'm using that fucking A-level, like 2-year-old A-level, whatever the fuck media language shit. But the idea is you build a parasocial relationship with the person so you feel connected. So it's not you're watching the TV, you are connecting with that person. And then that's kind of built up into relationships, giving money, giving more money, wanting to fuck her. She's not denies you, giving her more money.
Yeah, Lewis,
getting denied.
It's like the latest Count Dankula Mad Lads.
Oh, well,
But don't worry, when they have the fan meetup, he'll get something signed.
Yeah,
for another $20.
I feel like they just stick to OnlyFans for that.
I think OnlyFans is pointless. Like, you pay, what, 20 quid for some girl to show you her tits and that.
Yeah, I don't understand the purpose of paying for porn.
Yeah, it's kind of like, unless you got a really weird ass kink like Maisie, then you don't really need to pay.
I mean, besides like Pornhub, Reddit, and a bunch of other things, it's all free.
Yeah.
And those people will talk to you too.
Yeah, I got some like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, George.
Oh, for God's sake, George, you like some kind of like magnet for
If you want, Aaron, I can send you the ones I just got sent.
Do you guys have anything like Craigslist? I don't even know if you know what that is.
I mean, we do have Craigslist here, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But with, like Gumtree.
Do people try to sell like shady shit on there, or like their bodies, prostitution, anything like that?
I go on it every now and again just to pick through all the sketch shit, just to laugh at it sometimes.
To be honest, you get that on like Instagram and Snapchat though.
Oh yeah.
Like you look at people's stories and it's like, hey, I got cocaine. Do you want some?
I think everyone's had, like, when I was underage, somebody asked me for a dick pic and I was like, I haven't seen you face to face in over a year. I spoke to you for like face to face for like 20 minutes.
Just got censored.
Who the fuck are you? And I think my diet quote was,
oh, what'd you put in?
No.
A few years ago, I had a 30-year-old American woman thinking I was like 20-year-old English guy because I had a beard back then.
You don't want a sugar mama?
I feel like it's quite hard since like she's in America, you know.
Wouldn't that make it easier?
No, like if I'm going to do that, I would happily fuck her. But like America can't really do that. It's just
Oh yeah, but I mean, you could get all the benefits without actually having to do anything.
Yeah, but I would want to do things with that one. She was. Kind of like Adam's sister.
That would definitely fuck her. I think that's one of the funny things is that. Hang on, how would this work? Right, let's say, so I'm 20 right now, and then I screwed up. What's your age consent in America?
Some states are different. So, like in Texas, we have a 3-year Romeo and Juliet law. So if you're 18, you can go down to 15.
Oh my word!
Right. Yeah, it's weird. It's like in Germany or is it Spain? The age consent is like 13 or something. I think it's Spain. It's like.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's 13.
Low.
It's fucking ridiculous.
That's like an 8th grader, a 7th or 8th grader.
That'd be year 9. No.
8.
Yeah,
you're right.
8 over here.
11 to 12.
So year 8, that's like
8.
7th or 9th.
Jesus, that's only a year older than my brother.
Wait, no. Year 7, you're 11 to 12. Year 8, you're 13 to 14.
Yeah,
I mean, there were definitely kids in junior high that were having sex with each other. I remember that growing up. But that was with each other.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, what are you going to do? Arrest 2 fucking 13-year-olds?
Yeah.
For shit?
Like in our old school, this was years ago now, there was a teacher who had a relationship with another person who was like, how old was he?
He was 16 and she was about 27.
16 at the time.
Wait, is that Charlie? Yeah, he shagged the teacher and got her fired.
I would. I mean, she looked good. It's better.
Everyone would fuck her, dude.
She was a 9 out of 10. No.
Yeah.
She wasn't
7
really.
out
She
of
was a bit small.
10.
Yeah, but
Oh
like,
my god.
respect to Charlie though. I mean, 16, fucking a
She was plus
20-something-year-old
size.
fit
She wasn't
teacher.
plus size. She was.
Did that actually happen?
Yeah, it did. They
Yeah.
got caught on CCTV kissing in the park.
You know Mars
Damn.
bars. You know fun size Mars bars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miss Berridge.
Oh no.
Oh, Aaron.
No, she's more like the ones you get in the selection boxes.
OMG, how old she is.
God above. It's 2 o'clock. We're discussing old English teachers. Oh fucking hell.
I think
should
everyone
think
has
like
a story where some teacher got caught with a kid. A student, I guess I should say.
Yeah, but as long as it's a woman with an underage kid, it's fine.
That's what it seems to be, yeah.
But I think that's mostly just because the boys will respect him more for it. Whereas a girl, it's like, oh, you fucking weirdo.
Unless you're amazing.
Unless you're amazing, in which case...
What's the number now of people asking you out or liking you?
No, it means
14?
like over like old men.
Like over 40.
I don't.
Hey guys, I have a friend that joined the voice chat, but he's not in our voice chat, so he's gonna talk to me. I think it'll show up on the stream, but... Oh, no, he stopped. Never mind.
I'll filter out the stream then, and I'll move some stuff
No, it's
around.
okay. I think he was getting like censored on YouTube, so I think he was trying to ask me a question.
Yeah, well, it's YouTube. Things happen. I mean, like, oh god, YouTube's weird these days. I go through my watch later list just to watch some old good videos to find like 1/3 of it's been deleted. I'm like, there was some good shit here. It's all gone.
My old history teacher almost got reported for inciting terrorism because we were learning about Nazi Germany, and
Who was that?
Remember the Hitler speech? He got a letter saying he might be inciting terrorism because he was showing us a Hitler speech while we were learning about it.
Oh no!
Was it like an
old
example of
history
how
god.
he would rile up his audience, or like was he?
It was like one of his famous speeches and like the big
He got the video, tried uploading it to YouTube to show it to us. He had to cut half of the speech, so...
Yeah, they had to cut out half of it.
Do you know what's funny is the funny thing is that he is one of the nicest people I remember. When he used to teach us, he might have changed now, but he was really nice. Yeah, who cares about you? But then it's like other stuff like.
Do you remember when someone knocked on the door and you ran out after them?
I mean, I've had teachers in the past where they would say like, "Who do you think wrote this speech?" and they had the transcript, and when we would read it, we were like, "Oh wow, that's like really powerful. Oh, that must have been like George Washington or something." They're like, "Nope, Adolf Hitler." We're like, "Oh shit."
We've had something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He
like,
was a good speaker though. All the bad
Yeah.
stuff he said.
no, he was really good. He was a really good orator. He wrote
Yeah,
all
you'd
his
have to be a retard
speeches.
to think that not all politicians take something from them lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's good. At the end of the day, politicians are lying bastards, and that's coming from a person who wants to be one, and they are wankers.
No.
If you want to change it from the inside type of thing.
Yeah, Phil, we started a political party and it lasted all of about a day.
I wanted to get in politics when I first went to college or university, I guess, but I found out you have to really know people to get in, so I switched my major.
Yeah.
I want to go politics, but looks gone. I'm going to end up losing all what is left of my soul is going to die.
You have no soul, shut up.
You betray your country, betray your country, your people, your fucking family and everything, and it's just, for what? Power?
You get good cash though, like...
Fuck cash. I'd rather have a good life than... I'd rather live poor and free than live rich and a slave, personally.
But once you're rich, you just leave and then, like, you're even more free, so it's great.
Yeah, but fuck leaving the UK. UK's a good fucking place. I'm not leaving till it burns down and turns to a nuclear hellhole.
Yeah, and that'll be because you were in power.
Probably. Bit of foreign policy, a bit of biking the reactors, a bit of Chernobyl.
Bringing back the British Empire.
Oh, that's So that's one thing. Nuclear power plants. Yes, no. You think they should transition? You think they're safe enough?
Sorry, what's happening with this? I'm not
Just
in on this.
We're discussing nuclear power
plants.
And their
Well, like whether we should have them or not.
Yeah, I guess like your ethical standing on nuclear power plants.
I mean, with the amount of people in the world, I feel like it's just going to have to be necessary at some point.
Yeah, I'm
Because
pro it,
you
but
can't live off of solar for 7 billion people.
As long as they're not near me, I don't care.
So you're a NIMBY.
Maisie,
I
it's
don't
a
know what
tiny
that means.
it's a tiny
NIMBY is not in my backyard person. You only care if it affects you.
Although Maisie's scared it's going to affect her.
I mean, the thing with the UK is that we have a few of them, and I'm pro it, but the problem is we've got a problem. The world has a problem where we've got no deep storage with deep waste, and this waste will be radioactive for 10,000 years or whatever, and we've got no solution for it. And
Why can't they shoot it into space?
Because if the rocket fails, and rockets fail quite often.
That is okay. That's a fantastic argument.
If you're going to have a bunch of radioactively molten, basically a Chernobyl,
in the sky,
just raining down on people.
I mean, I think the problem is we need to put in perspective is the UK and Europe in general have all had very bad experiences with nuclear power to some extent. So you have a place called Sellafield, and Sellafield is, oh my god, there's containment ponds that if something goes wrong with the water leaks out or the sealant breaks, you're going to have, I think it's 4 Chernobyls of radiation being released, and it's sitting there. It's sitting there in Cumbria in northeast, northwest UK, and it's just sitting there.
Well, in England, we don't really have a good reputation for leaving things how they are. Have you ever heard of Anthrax Island?
No.
Oh, Grignard.
Basically, they used to test chemical weapons on this little island off the coast of like Scotland, I think it is, and it's up for sale for like £300 or something because no one wants it.
Because it's uninhabitable.
This was in the 40s. They left it for about 30 years. Came back in the 70s, bleached it, took all the soil off, took all the grass off, burnt the place, everything you name it, they did it. Brought them down.
Then they put some sheep on it to make sure that they weren't going to die.
Yeah. I mean, there's always like
The sheep live?
We have some they lived. We have some sketchy places like Porton Down in the UK. That's real sketchy. I mean, like VX gas, which is the most poisonous poison in the world, man-made. Stuff they used to kill Kim Jong Un's brother was developed in Porton Down in the UK. And then there's tests in the 50s where they gave unwittingly sarin gas, nerve gas used in Syria to British servicemen. They didn't know what it was, and they just died. And it's nerve gases. You choke, sneeze, bleed, shit yourself to death, basically. Fun times.
Phil, have you heard about the attempted Russian assassination in England with chemical weapons?
Is that the one where they were using like the specs and they were like putting it into like drinks or something?
No, there was where was it, guys? I've forgotten.
Well, I mean, you got 2 of them. You got
Salisbury. So basically, they let off like a nerve agent in a cul-de-sac kind of area.
No, it's the city. Salisbury is really big.
But it's in like the area it was in. It was like
I can't explain it. I know shit. I'll explain it. I know properly.
Alright, Jesus, chill out.
I'm sorry. I know things about it. Basically, ex-KGB agent lived in a house nearby. They went to a pub with the FSB agent, put stuff on door handles, I think a park bench, and other places. They contacted it, contracted it, and then passed out. I think 1 person died, maybe 2? Can't remember.
Died, one was like left in a bit of
the
state.
stupid thing is that, I was saying, the main UK NBC defence place was like 2 miles away. And in like the first 3 hours, you had RAF, NBC, counter bioweapons people on the place in like an hour. And it was just poorly done. And then there was the thing with radiation, where the guy put radium
cesium or radium in the guy's tea. He drank it and he
Yeah,
died of radiation
I heard
poisoning.
that one.
Have you heard about the umbrella one?
No.
Oh, the guy shot a dart. The guy shot a... Oh.
It was like a
Yeah,
little
you
ball
children.
with like a radioactive thing in it, and he walked past a guy, stabbed him in the foot with his umbrella, got in a taxi and drove off.
And he
the
died
guy
like 2 days later.
Were these all like ex-KGB agents that were like getting killed, or?
The guy with the umbrella, I think he was just like advocating against.
He was a dissident.
Russia.
He was a Hungarian dissident. The ones about the radiation and the poison were both former KGB. So Russian intelligence, not Soviet intelligence.
Yeah, we don't like them Bolsheviks.
Those damn Bolsheviks. You gotta oppress the proletariat. Maisie is a scummy socialist, aren't you?
I'm not even a socialist, Aaron.
Definitely.
In America, what do people think of communism and socialism?
They mix them both. They're the same to most American people's eyes. To be honest, I'm like a weird mixture of a socialist and a libertarian, I guess.
So the government should control some things, but also
yeah, I think the government should control healthcare and education, and like the environmental protections. Like stuff
I don't know
like
about
that.
education, though.
That'll make you a neoliberal. You'd be a neoliberal then. No, not neoliberal. Yeah, neoliberal for the technicalities.
I don't know. Some people have described me as a classic liberal, but I don't know. I don't know what the term is. Like, I don't like property tax. I think in the property of your own home, you should be able to do whatever you want. I think prostitution should be legalized. Like, I'm all over the place.
I'm a weird mixture of classical liberal, so freedom of speech, Lockean stuff, laissez-faire economics, and a bit of one nation conservatism. And that's
I'm more of a practicalist.
Pragmatic.
It was just like, I disagree with like having to have planning permission to build something on your property and everything, but then again, it's not like we have a ton of space to do what we want with, and you don't want entire places looking like shitholes because people did a cherry-rigged building.
I think those laws are to stop like shanty towns from being built up.
Yeah, and then there's also stuff like the forced selling of property to the big companies.
Yeah, eminent domain type of
worth
stuff.
$1 trillion.
Yeah, but like England's small, we would never have a railway if they didn't force people to sell their property.
Oh yeah, I'm also at like.
There would never be progress if we didn't have certain things like that.
I've recently come into the idea that I don't necessarily think billionaires should exist. I think maybe you can get to like 1 billion and then you just can't have any more money.
Well, I mean, if you're successful, there's no right for the government to go and say, right, you're successful now, you're going to pay for everyone else.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, what can you do with what's the purpose of you owning all that money or capital? Like, why should you have more power than a government?
Well, that's the incentive to work. If there's no incentive to work hard and, become absolutely mega billionaire, people just won't work hard. You wouldn't have companies.
That is the American dream. The American dream is to start small, become big. I mean, it's like the American Constitution. It's the American dream is not you provided the Constitution to allow you to achieve greatness. I mean, I can't remember the exact wording was, but you should gain your own success.
Yeah, I mean, how many Russian and Chinese companies just started brand new and work out great? I mean, even though in China they still have billionaires and mega poor people. And
I mean, the thing with Russia is that most of their rich people are oligarchs. So they either were former Soviet government or they just got like Putin's really rich. I think Putin's net worth is I want to say $100 million.
I think that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of just government systems turning into like oligarchs type of thing. Maybe if they had like a better like keeping money out of politics or something like that. Maybe if they could reform that.
Jeff Bezos will be the first trillionaire.
Well, I mean, in the UK we had a problem with that in the 2000s called cash runners, where
you donate to a party. So Labour, and it was just Labour mainly did it. Maybe Conservative Party, and it was like you gave them money and they'd make you an honour, and that honour was like you could sit in the House of Lords, so you could oversee political proceedings and. Yeah.
I don't think the Conservatives needed to do that because they come from a lot of old money, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Very old families who've always been into
I was
politics,
just
quite rich.
trying to find background of like who were doing it, but there's like I know there's a limit to how many you can donate on
At that point,
individuals.
he could supplant the government.
I think you have to declare whether a group or company is donating. But like for example, the most of the money given to the Conservative Party, they're the equivalent of the Republican. They're not like Republican, but they're the equivalent of the Republican Party. Most of their money comes from wills. So, Granny died. Oh, let's give some money to the Conservative Party.
Yeah,
That's how they work.
Yeah. And the one time the Conservatives didn't win the election, the country got fucked.
So you guys don't have any problem of like Jeff Bezos, for instance, who's about to become like a trillionaire.
I can understand why people don't like it, but at the end of the day, if you really believe in individuality and people allowing to do what they want to do, I don't think you should control people's money. They already get taxed more than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like
that's kind of up in the air. I think over here.
What taxes?
Yeah, the taxes in America.
I mean, there's an aspect to me that kind of is a bit wary of these mega rich. Like, I'm kind of wary of the oligarchical technocracy that might form. So you got imagine Russia, but mix it with like, Cyberpunk 2077, the game releasing.
Yeah.
Months time. Imagine that, but replace. I'm kind of scared of that, but that's because I've got these old conservative tendencies of I don't like this, it's new shit.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
I think the main reason I like conservatives is just because, if you have a system that works, why do you really want to change it? We have a society that isn't great, but it works fine enough. And changing it massively could just fuck it up completely, and we might have to go back
reform not revolution.
I think yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, the only argument that I was gonna say is it's because you constantly have like these new technologies or ideas that are coming out that you don't have laws for, type of thing.
Like legal highs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like originally over here, the internet was it wasn't considered, but it was regulated as like a utility over here. But after the Republicans just won office 4 years ago, they got rid of that. The FCC got rid of that, so now like all of our internet companies can charge more and they can cap data. It's just
even us in the UK saw our Instagram, like when it was first introduced, was flooded with memes of like Ajay Pai or whatever his name was.
Ajit Pai. Yeah, that fuck.
We were like, we knew about it, and then we had a similar thing in Europe, primarily the EU, with the Article 13, and that was basically a censorship law.
Yes.
It basically was seen as the banning of memes.
Yeah.
I think regulation of the internet is rather interesting, where it's mostly demonstrated in the UK mainly, with something called Rupert Murdoch. Now he owns
a lot of media companies.
Two really big newspapers, Times and The Sun. And these are your Washington Journal, your I can't remember what else do you have in the US newspapers. New York Times. They also own The Sky. And there's in the media industry in the UK is dominated by conglomerates. The only one I can think of that's not is The Guardian and The Eye. And these people have complete control of what gets written about. Like Daily Mail, they control what's discussed in government, in the pubs, in the offices. They have quite a lot of control. And it's
agenda.
Yes.
I feel like
it's quite scary.
I feel like most of the Western world nowadays is kind of becoming very authoritarian.
In the,
Oh.
I don't know when it was started, but in the 80s, America got rid of it. We used to have a law that said, like, anytime any, like, bias, there was, like, a bias in a news source, that same channel or TV program had to play the opposite argument in the same program. And then in the
I think
late
I agree with
80s, the United States got rid of that.
No, I think that's kind of.
And then that's when, like, Fox News blew up over here.
Well, I mean, my opinion on like authoritarianism is that I hate it. It's so shit. And we got my idea, like for the UK, my golden idea would be you have a central set of ideas based off liberalism. So you got freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms, some very American stuff, and those kind of sit in the corner. And then every now and then, when like some government comes and says we're going to put it so that we, through US, is currently passing through the House of Representatives something, a law that allows the FBI to go through, I think it's all of your emails, all of your data without a warrant.
Yeah, I forgot what they called that, like in 2000.
Yeah, and for example, if you had this liberalism sit in the corner, when that happens, it'll fucking jump out of the corner and get over that idea because you go, no, that goes against for American example, it's Constitution. So that goes against your right to privacy, your right to free speech, and that idea gets blown to pieces, never sees the light of day.
I feel like all that kind of stuff is just very. It's kind of hard because on one hand, you want to have your freedom, your rights, and all those various things. With like guns, you want to be able to own what you want. But as far as society goes, if you want it to progress, you kind of need to put that aside. I mean, when England was at the height of its empire, expanding, it's not like we were being nice to lots of people.
Yeah.
America wouldn't have been built the way it is if it wasn't for all the nasty shit that had to happen first.
Well, I mean, the way America formed was that, obviously, the 7 Years' War, we fought the French with raised taxes.
I thought it was the 100-Year War.
No, it was 7 Years' War.
No,
that was France, Austria, Russia versus Britain and Prussia.
Oh yeah, can I just say, Phil, if it wasn't for the fact that we were fighting 3 other wars as well as trying to keep America, we would still own you.
Hey, whatever.
Can agree.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually 4 wars, actually.
Was it? What, French, American, Spanish? Who else?
No. It was sort of French, Spanish, Indian, 2 Indian wars, Europe, Spain, the Native American conflicts, and I think we're fighting a naval war with somewhere, gone where. So yeah.
If you go back, America got really lucky on a lot of things in the Revolutionary War.
You would not be butchering our language right now.
You were just the least.
I actually heard there was a scientific paper released that Americans have something closer. Not Americans now. Americans in the 50s, roughly, had something closer to British English than the British English had of the colonial languages or whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean,
they said if you listen to like Roosevelt or someone talk, that was like the actual English accent or something like that.
Well, I mean, you'll notice it in the UK. I mean, like you've got Scouse, you've got Scottish, you've got Welsh, and then you've got Liverpudlian, then you've got
Pikey,
mouth-breathing Pikeys and Essex who kill our language.
You got Chavs.
Who does the you fucking what, mate?
That's Chavs.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
Chavs.
And Roadmen.
Roadmen and Chavs are basically the same thing.
Yeah, but Roadmen are just like stabby kind of Chavs. Chavs just beat you up.
And then there's like you got also a aspect to it, which is people who kind of are brought up to speak English grammatically correct. And
actually, would you have in America? Do you have something equivalent to a roadman, which is basically just like a teenage kid who sells a bit of weed and thinks he's a gangster?
Yeah, that's probably technically what we call them. We don't have I wouldn't say we have a title for that.
So it's not like a proper thing. It's just kind of like it's one of them, not.
Yeah, I mean, unless the chat wants to help me out, I don't think we have a proper title for that. Like, we might. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, people kind of understand that they're not well off. They're usually not that educated, or they seem to have anger issues, or they believe in extreme conspiracy theories, or they dropped out of school, or they're in some type of crime. I don't really know, and they just sell weed. Yeah.
Yeah, in England it's sort of a phase.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but like even
Well, the-
rich people.
It's just kind of a style for at the moment, and then it's probably just going to go away after a while.
Mm.
But
I mean,
I think what?
So it depends on what country you are, like not country like part of UK you are, like
Yeah.
in Scotland there's a culture of something called chipping, where
Oh.
you get a knife and just try and get a cut on the guy's face, and that's a part of the culture. Well, not the culture, but the subculture, and that's kind of thing that happens. Whereas down south where we are, and east, west, and whatever, nothing. There's not really an equivalent. I mean,
You just get stabbed.
you just get stabbed. It's just you fucking chat shit, mate, and bam, you got a fucking day on your fucking stomach.
Yeah, I feel like Glasgow and Scotland, they're a bit more violent, but they actually still kind of have a code.
Correction conspiracy
My
fact.
mum used to live there, and she basically said that if you're
You have a
child
correction?
or a girl, you can do what you want. You don't have to be worried about anything.
Or
Because, when they
what's
were
the
building
conspiracy
Glasgow
fact?
Bridge, they buried some people under there who were messing around with kids and women. So it's just kind of like a cultural thing of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like from what I catch from the media over here, you guys are faster to put your hands on someone if you've been disrespected or insulted.
Yeah, it's also a lot of territory stuff. If someone comes on your territory or like does some dodgy shit on your territory, you've got to defend it almost.
Literally, when we were in the woods, some kid was like, "Oh, you're right, mate," and you were just shouting, "Oh, calm down."
Yeah, but he was being a knobhead.
Exactly.
Like the most British phrase that's been said. Yeah.
I feel like in England we're much quicker to go to the fists, but in America you're much quicker to go to the gun.
We don't have guns now, do we?
Well, you can
Oh,
get
I'm
them.
gonna pull my.
It's just
I'm
you
gonna
don't
pull
wanna go
my
that
gun
far.
out. Oh, I've got my gun that doesn't exist because they're fucking bad. Ooh. Oh, my air gun is gonna be so good. It's made out of complete and utter oxygen. It's amazing.
The only guns I got are on my arms.
Shut up.
Shut up.
What, the ones that are wafer thin that don't exist, basically?
Aaron, I'm...
Bigger than yours?
Yeah, you're a twig.
Yeah, because Dan's fucking wider than... Not wider than I am, but he's built... Oh, I don't know how to fucking say it. Girthy. I'm a twig. I've got muscle, but I'm a
Chad,
twig.
is there anything else you want him to get into?
Not much for them.
Phil, have you got any more topics for us? Or?
I don't know. I just asked the chat if there's. I don't have anything.
What's just something you want to know about England then?
I don't know. Almost every time I've hung out with like a British person, like overseas or something like that, we always get into like a playful argument about the
Donald
way
Rumsfeld reported 1+ trillion missing from the gov literally weeks before
about the way
911.
we pronounce words.
You're calling soccer the wrong thing.
Yeah, how do you say
I
it?
don't get it. Why do you call why don't you call it football? It's a ball. It's a game.
We call
Your
it, so the actual argument. I can't remember the specifics off the top of my head. I think one of them is called association football, and the other one is something football. So we call it soccer because it's from association or something like that.
Like
we used to call them both. We used to call them both football, but we had a word before it, and then people just started calling it the former word instead of the latter word.
You could just call American football rugby for pussies, and then football. Because if you see rugby in England, they don't wear all that padding and shit. They just go.
Yeah, we've got rugby over here. It's not professional, but like colleges and universities, and I guess what we would probably get up to a minor league in rugby.
So in America, is like joining a sports team like a kind of a big thing that people do.
Like professionally, or yeah, professionally, it's extremely hard to get into professional sports here. You're going to be in the 1% probably, because so many kids here play sports in school.
Yeah, because I was thinking, because you see in all those like American films, like college football and all.
Yeah, I mean,
like, is it
well,
actually
it's also
as serious as it is, or is it just kind of like
depending on the college. Like you can do what's considered a walk-on, which means that, like you don't really have any skills. But as soon as you get into the college level and above, football, or I don't know what else to call it, American football is extremely hard and competitive to get into.
Oh, okay.
Or universities, I guess. I think you guys call like college, but we call high school.
We go secondary school,
which is high
sixth
school,
form, then university.
Yeah, we do primary school, secondary school, which is 6th to 8th grade, high school, which is 9th to 12th, and then university or college.
Primary is year 3 to 6.
No.
Secondary, yeah,
No.
that's what mine was.
Primary's reception to year 6, so about 4 to 11.
Depends on which one. I went to a different reception.
You went to junior and...
Yeah.
Mine was split.
Well, anyway.
You guys can't even, you don't even know what it is.
Primary is like 10 years old is max, you're there. Then you move on to secondary, which is high school. And then you can either go sixth form, which is something you do when you're 16, either in a school, like they have an extra thing for it, or you go to a college and you start there when you're 16 and leave when
Form and college are the last 2 years of high school, so you're from 16 to 18.
Yeah, but if you're at college, it's
you might be there longer.
I'm staying till I'm 19, but you can stay as long as you want. I had a 25-year-old kid in my class. But university is what you guys call college, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a university. They're interchangeable, but here it's the same thing. It's like 13th grade and higher. It's your bachelor's and higher.
13th grade, okay.
That's, I mean, because our high school stops at 12th grade when you're 18. And then if you do any schooling after that.
I think I'm technically in 12th grade then.
Yeah, if you're like here 12th grade is like a senior in high school. You're 18 years old. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in my second year of college, so next year's my last one. Then I actually have to go get a job.
You guys doing gap years?
No.
Yeah, I'm already saving up.
Too poor.
I'm going straight to work because after uni I want to get a really good job. It's a competitive job, but it's my dream job, honestly.
Yeah, see, everyone else is going.
What is it?
Everyone else is going to uni.
It's my dream job. Military related.
What is it?
Military related. It's
2 minutes delay, Jesus.
It's competitive.
Yeah, Flavin, reset your refresh YouTube.
Be something. I don't.
Yours is behind.
Museums.
Don't want to be some dickhead who lives in some random place in the UK. I want to be a person.
Good for you, Aaron. Good for you.
Yeah, it's like probably up dying in Iraq of like 26 or something.
I'm just doing mechanics. I'm just gonna get a job.
It's probably job security. When I was growing up, I grew up in the age where America really pushed like blue collar jobs are for poor losers, and now they're like seriously regretting it. Yeah, trade schools were like for high school dropouts. Like that's how they really marketed them in my age.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kids in my college, they were all high school dropouts.
But now people are. I think the U.S. economy like regrets it because there aren't like plumbing, electricians, car mechanics. Like they're always hiring. They never have enough people, and they pay way more than people with university degrees.
After working as a mechanic for a few years, I could earn.
Oh shit! Just realized you killed the caterpillar.
I did.
That's just for 3 years of college. I don't have to go to uni, so I'm quite happy with that. But nah, once I'm done with college, I'm traveling around Europe for a year. Then
I just censored every other word.
then I'm gonna get a job.
The guy on YouTube keeps saying he keeps getting censored every other word. I have no idea what you're saying.
What? Flapping longius. God, flapping
Yeah.
means something.
Flavin Longinus, yeah. Or Flavin.
Oh, it's got a Roman meaning, I'm quite sure.
You're
Boys,
probably correct.
I'm probably gonna go to bed. I'm very tired.
Alright, yeah. I think I'm gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Right.
it's a very interesting interview. Thank you very much.
I definitely appreciate it. This is a fantastic first episode.
First
Oh shit, it's
episode.
just a first.
I have to type gibberish to get through.
All right. Well, see you guys later.
Alright,
See
have a
you
good
guys.
one.
Night.
Have a nice evening.
Alright, guys. That was it. That was the podcast with like 6 people from the UK. It was interesting. I enjoyed myself. I learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot. And I hope we can keep doing this every Friday. Maybe one day you will be the guest. Thank you for watching. I love you. And I'll see you later.
OMG 8 minutes to get through.